The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Louis Riddick has a bold prediction for Justin Fields in 2025. Is he out of his mind? We'll talk about that and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Brees Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Wednesday, show number 2 on the day, and I highly encourage anyone who didn't see the first show earlier to go back and watch, because it was truly one for the ages. With that said, this guy always brings it when he joins us, and he joins us now in his weekly spot. Dylan Tereman, fellow Jets content creator, who has a brand new channel at Dylan Tereman on YouTube. So make sure you go and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Dylan, I know you saw the first show earlier, so I know you enjoyed it. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, and as you can see, rocking this clean Jets Worldwide hat. Shout out Snowball and Johnny Boy. You guys are the best. Yeah, happy to be here, man, and hopefully maybe a little bit of an informative one today.
Very informative. We're going to do a little film review at the end of the show, but we start with a hot take, or maybe it's not so hot, depending on whether or not you believe this to be true, from Louis Riddick. He was asked by Mike Greenberg on Get Up a question about Justin Fields. And before I play the clip, I would like to point out that I didn't edit this clip at all. What you see is what aired on ESPN earlier today. Dan Graziano is the other analyst that's up there on the screen with Riddick. But someone fell asleep in the ESPN control room, because watch how long they just have the camera on Dan, who's not talking. So once again, I didn't edit this. Dan Graziano is on camera, even though it's Louis Riddick talking. So I want to make that clear before I play the clip. Here we go.
If I were to say, and perhaps I would say it hopefully, Justin Fields is going to have a career year in 2025. Is that ridiculous?
Not ridiculous at all. Again, Greeny, look, this offensive line in New York, which is where it all starts for these young quarterbacks. They got 3 first-round picks and a second-round pick on this offensive line. They've got to be better. They've got to establish the run, especially with the running backs that they have as well. And look, Tanner Engstrand, the new offensive coordinator, and we said it before, it's staring him right in the face as far as what, philosophically the approach should be for this team. Quarterback run, feature the running backs, lean on this offensive line, play action pass. So could Justin Fields have a career year which would primarily be comprised of 20-plus touchdown passes, 3K plus in passing yards, 800 plus in rushing yards? I absolutely could see it happening. And that would be a career year for him. I don't see why, if this team stays on the field in terms of everyone staying healthy, that Justin can't have that kind of year.
I mean, I don't know why they stuck with Graziano for as long as they did, but if you were able to look past that smug guy's face, there was a pretty interesting take there from Louis Riddick. What were your thoughts, Dylan?
Yeah, I think when it came to Graz, he might have had an initial reaction that the cameraman wanted to catch, and then they were hoping it came back, because it didn't seem like Graz was in agreement, and then he just kept looking off to the side to see if he was off camera or not. So I don't think he agreed with Lewis's take, but also that segment was called Ridiculous, which means that perhaps it was a bit of a hot take, but this is now 2 ESPN guys, Solak first and now Riddick, who are saying good things about Justin Fields and going as far as saying a career year. And I don't think it's a coincidence that a certain quarterback leaves the team and the media covers it in a completely different way. They're way more positive about the Jets now. So it's not really surprising that they're kind of flipping on the Jets, but to say a career year, I wasn't even, going to say that about Justin Fields. And my optimism is kind of through the roof at this point. So I was really excited to hear it. I mean, 3,000 passing yards, 800 rushing yards, 20 plus passing touchdowns. I'd sign up for that on May 28th. 10 times out of 10. I don't care what the record says, but if that's the quarterback output, you'd have to assume that you're winning more than 5 or 6 games.
By the way, the reason why I called Graziano smug is because anyone who's followed his career knows he has a personal vendetta against Aaron Rodgers. So
Yes.
I have not forgotten, just because Rodgers is not on the Jets anymore, that the way that he covered them was so ridiculously unfair that I'm not letting anyone out there forget that. So with that said, as far as what Louis Riddick said, look, stat-wise, what Jet fan wouldn't sign for that, right? I mean, that would be, to me, if you tell me that's what Fields is producing this year, this team can win 9 or 10 games. Like, that to me is a legitimate blueprint for that. They maybe could be even better than that, depending on the level the defense returns to. But what he said is accurate as far as the importance of this team being able to be a dominant running team. Like, they have now invested yet another premium asset, the 7th pick in the draft, to the offensive line. They need to be able to have one of the better units in the league, assuming those guys are healthy for the most part. Like 1 through 5 on the Jets O-line. We're talking about multiple top 11 picks. We're talking about multiple just first-round picks in general, a very high second-round pick. Like, he went through it in the clip there. I don't need to repeat it. Like, this offensive line is the entire key to unlocking whatever Fields is as a passer, and also allowing the Jets to have an identity on offense, being able to run the football with a quarterback in Justin Fields that, probably outside Lamar Jackson, is the most dynamic running quarterback in the league.
Yeah, from a defensive perspective, I'd say everything flows through the secondary, but on offense, everything flows through that front 5, right? And the one thing to remember about Armand Membu is he is the 3rd highest drafted player on this Jets roster. Quinnen was 3, Sauce was 4, Membu was 7. Right? He was picked higher than Garrett Wilson by 3 spots, Fashanu by 4 spots. So if he's able to hit the ground running and be that dominant right tackle, I have no reason to believe that this team is going to be bad with a good offensive line. You just don't see that in the NFL. So I think everything flows through the offensive line, for better or worse. And I think you're going to probably see more positives than you do negatives, both from Justin Fields having the ball in his hands a couple, like half a second longer, which I know he likes to hold on to the ball pretty long. And then Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, these guys are going to, find the rush lanes that this offensive line opens up for them. So the front 5 is definitely the X factor of the Jets right now.
100%. Now, you go a little more in depth here on the stats. 3,000 yards passing, 800 plus yards rushing for Justin Fields. Boy Green noted this on his X account, so give him the credit for looking this up. If Justin Fields accomplishes those numbers, that would be the most rushing yards a Jet quarterback has ever had in a single season, and by far. Al Doro, who I never saw play, but some of the Asmaniacs out there maybe did, back in 1960 with the New York Titans, had 453 rushing yards. And then Geno Smith, during his rookie year, he had 366 rushing yards. That was back in 2013. So we're just not used to, in the history of the Jets, a quarterback having that level of ability to run with the football in his hands.
Yeah, if he's almost able to double the franchise record for rushing yards from a quarterback in a season, I mean, that's just amazing. I know his high for his career is like 1,100 with Chicago, but if you just tone down the rushing a bit and you amp up the passing a bit, which I think Tanner Engstrand is going to do, especially, giving him those confidence throws where he's just able to hit Garrett Wilson one-on-one and drive starter throws that are going to, allow him to not, lose confidence throughout the football game. And I don't think that's a Justin thing. I think that's a coaching thing that he's had in his career, not since Ohio State. They're not putting him in positions to win. So this is kind of on Engstrand too, to make sure that he's in the right position to get those 3,800 total yards. And honestly, if it's a little bit less rushing and a little bit more passing, I would be even more excited.
Yeah, to me, he's got to stay healthy to put this up as well. That's the other thing. Like, Fields has been a guy who's been banged up before. That's where you feel decent, I guess, about your backup at Tyrod Taylor. But if let's say he puts up those numbers, right? Let's say Riddick is right with the stat line projection, because that's been the toughest thing, right? I've been asked a lot, project his stats. It's like, I don't even know officially what type of offense they're running necessarily. But let's say that's what he does. How many wins for this team based on what you know about the coaching staff and the rest of the roster?
7 or 8 at a floor, I think. If he's actually getting 3,800 total yards, 20-plus passing touchdowns, that he wasn't even including the rushing touchdowns. So even if he adds 6 or 7 on the ground, he's hovering around 30 total touchdowns for the season. So the minimum would have to be 7 or 8 wins. And I know we talked about it before. Buffalo twice, Cincinnati and Baltimore. You could just guarantee losses right now. You go 6-7 or 7-6 in your other 13 games. You've smashed the prediction of 5.5 from Vegas, and you can probably, get more than, just 500 out of those other 13 games. So if he's putting up these numbers, one, we're going to be very excited on our post-game shows, and we're going to be competitive in the second half. But I would say no less than 7 or 8 wins.
Dan Graziano, I'm sure, has the Jets winning -7 wins.
Yeah, he's adding games to the schedule just so that the Jets lose more.
Do you agree or disagree with Louis Riddick, who thinks that Fields could have a career year, doesn't think it's ridiculous at all? I guess what would surprise me would be the 3K plus passing yards, just because he's never done it, whereas this is a guy that's had 1,100 rushing yards in a season as a runner. So I guess if I was picking between the two, that would surprise me. 20 passing touchdowns is nothing to, write home about when you talk about like the NFL as a whole. But for a guy that's a runner and a thrower, I think that's a fair number. Like if Fields could give you 20 through the air, and as you brought up, doesn't include what he could give you on the ground, 26, 27 total touchdowns. Like I think this team is bare minimum. They do that. I think they're playing meaningful games in December, which most of us would sign right now, given what the over-under win total is in Vegas at 5.5.
100%. And somebody in the chat put in that Jalen Hurts had 18 passing touchdowns last year. Obviously, he had a ton of rushing. I think he had like 14 or 15 rushing touchdowns, so 33 total touchdowns. But if you're getting comparable,
push.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're getting comparable stats out of your quarterback that the Super Bowl winning team got the year prior with their quarterback, and the rest of the team is just kind of average to above average. I know the Eagles are very elite on both trenches last year, but yeah, I don't see a way that you're getting close to that 5.5. You're going to smash through that like with ease. And like you might have those wins by Thanksgiving. You might have 6 or 7 wins already on your schedule. So I'm excited because if this happens, we are excited for December football. We're packing our run game and our defense. We're going to, we have that 5 games after Baltimore. It starts with Atlanta. That really opens up for the schedule. And if we have 6 wins at that point, yeah, we can go for 9 or 10 potentially.
Indy Jets checks in. 30 total in any combination is a great thing. I mean, if that's the number, it's like, hey, we need him to produce 30 total touchdowns. I'd say this is a 9 or 10 win team if they get that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I certainly agree. 30 is a big number. Rodgers had 28 last year.
It's a big number.
We were losing our minds, right? We were losing our minds after having 9 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, not being able to even come close to even 15 passing touchdowns from our quarterback. So to jump from that to 28 with Rodgers and then to keep it going with a guy that people will not even put on Rodgers' level in Fields, yeah, that would be probably the most optimistic outcome for Fields this year.
By the way, Tanner Engstrand's interviewing for head coaching jobs if Justin Fields has 30 total touchdowns in whatever capacity.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A couple comments I want to get to here. This one is from JD, who wrote in that there's just a ton of variables, but I can't find it. StreamYard, I really want to strangle someone today. It's been that kind of day. JD says, so many variables. Fields needs to limit turnovers, and our D needs turnovers. That's the other thing. I don't care where the Jets rank in total defense as far as like yards allowed per game. They had good numbers in that metric last year. The defense sucked last year. I don't care what anyone says. I watched it. You watched it. We all watched it. They could not get a big stop when it mattered. They never forced turnovers. It was what? Until Sauce Gardner had the interception against Mac Jones in the Jaguar game. Other than Brandon Eccles, no Jet defender had an interception until then. Like, it's a joke. So they do need to force way more turnovers because the reality is teams that win the turnover battle, I think, win the game over 70% of the time. So that is a major thing that Glenn and Wilkes have to instill in this defense. Protect the ball on offense, force turnovers on defense.
Yeah, and that's going to be the key, right? Is giving Justin Fields in the offense a shorter field to work with. Being aggressive up front and playing man on the back end could, be conducive for that, right? If Sauce Gardner is able to turn his head around like 2 yards before he was last year, which he really didn't turn his head around too much. He just kind of played through the hands of the receiver. If he's able to turn his head around and locate the football, I think it's going to amount in, way more interceptions because what is it, 5 or 6 we've had the last couple of years with Jordan Whitehead getting half of those on his own in week 1. Like it's god awful turnover numbers, and we can't rely on the defense to play bend don't break. They have to be aggressive and take the ball away to then help your offense again. And I feel like in 2022, 2023, they were able to create more turnovers, but it still wasn't at a good enough rate where your offense, which was so putrid, was able to capitalize on it. So say you catch the ball on the opponent's 35 or 40-yard line. Justin Fields is 8-10 yards away from field goal range. So like we should be able to create turnovers and score more points off those turnovers if all those things happen.
Oregon Jets, who's becoming the most negative person in the chat, which is saying something, says 4 wins and missing out on any meaningful QB prospect. Now, let me say this. They could win 4 games. I'm not going to sit here and say that's crazy given the history of this organization the last 15 years. But if they win 4 games, they're not missing out on quarterback prospects. It's a much better quarterback draft next year. They're going to be in range to get one. So the idea that they're going to win 4 and not be in range to get the quarterback, they can win 7 and still get the quarterback. Some of the best teams in the league traded up to get their quarterback, and they were already playoff teams, a la Kansas City and Buffalo, how they got Mahomes and Allen coming off playoff years. So I am not even going to think about the draft and all that next year. Let's see what this coaching staff could do. They're all in on Fields for the year. He was the best of the rest once they decided they were moving on from Rodgers. Let's go from there. Like, you know what? You're here every day talking about this team. Let's try and talk about how they could actually be good because we know how they could suck. We've all seen why they could suck. Coach doesn't know what he's doing. Quarterback sucks. Done. That's not fun to talk about. How they actually could be decent if they get competent quarterback play and real coaching. That's more fun to talk about on May 28th.
Yeah, and without going into the 2026 quarterback class, there are way more than 5 or 6 prospects that are being looked at as first rounders. Last year, it was really just Quinn Ewers and Carson Beck in the way too early mock drafts of first round quarterbacks, at least. Neither of them, one went back to school, and one was a 6th round pick who is now backup Zach Wilson. So like a lot of things can change, but I would say that the quarterback class of 26 is going to be closer to the 2023 class where you had 6 in the top 12 as opposed to Cam Ward and then a big drop off until, what was it, Jackson Dart was quarterback 2 at pick 27 to the Giants or something like that. So I don't see it being like a wasteland at quarterback, but I also don't know if we're going to see 7, 8, 9, 10 quarterbacks go in the first round. But if you're picking in the top 7 or 8 and there's 5 good quarterbacks, the chances are you're probably going to get one. Maybe it's not the guy you 100% want unless you trade up, but yeah, there's no reason to immediately think that 4 wins is going to eliminate you from the top, unless he's just specifically keying in on one prospect who's going to stay at Texas for at least one more year. You might get the guy you like. Lenora Sellers, South Carolina.
Your guy.
Yes, absolutely.
Mike with a question. Which is higher, the number of Fields rushing touchdowns or the number of Allen's fingers that have been inside himself? Dylan, your thoughts on the image you see on the screen?
It's loading, but I have seen the comment that, yes, there it is. I'm going to say Fields rushing touchdowns because hopefully Allen isn't two-handing it and Fields gets you 6 rushing touchdowns.
I like that take a lot. Well done. Super chat, our first of the day from the great big fella. He says, Jake/Dylan, can you give us info on Byron Cowart? So I talked about him, might have been yesterday or the day before. Multiple reporters who saw the first OTA last week highlighted him as someone who stood out. We'll see if that remains a pattern tomorrow when practice is open for the media to watch. Do you know much about him? Because he's a part of that D-line rotation, a part of like the Muji dollar store purchases in free agency. So your thoughts on him as an option next to Quinnen?
Yeah, so just contractually, they gave him like $1.3 million with no guarantees, I don't think. So if he makes it to the roster, that's a good thing for him. He was a rotational player in Chicago for the most part of last year until about week 12, and his snaps spiked from 15 to 18 to about 30 to 32. And then from weeks 12 to 18, he was more of a full-time player. I went back and I watched week 12, 13, and 14, and he played Minnesota and Detroit in the second and third game. I can't remember who the first game was against, And I was trying to pull clips for a film breakdown because I did LT3 and people were asking about Cowart because it's the same position. We're completely clueless on who the D tackle 2 is going to be. I only came away with one clip against the run with Byron Cowart, and it wasn't really that impressive. It was an outside zone scheme. All the offensive linemen were moving to their left. He hit him with a little inside, he put his foot in the ground, did a little swim move on the guard. It wasn't like a great play, but he does have some juice against the run. He had a couple like close sacks and some pressures, but to me, I don't think he should be DT2. I think right now I would project that to be Naughty, and then we'll get into it. But Leonard Taylor III is my defensive tackle 3 above Cowart, and I would even think like Fedarian Mathis, if he can stay healthy, might be another sneaky play for that rotational defensive tackle position. So Cowart, I'm not buying 100%, but I do like seeing unfamiliar faces, especially new guys, making a presence at OTAs. And he had a lot of pressures. He was in the backfield a lot. So, I'll have to do this for Alan. It's Yaha Black. I understand. Every day he tells me I don't know how to pronounce the defensive tackle's name from Iowa because I said Yaya.
Don't acknowledge him. I'm tired of it. We spend too much time talking about Alan. Nobody cares about Alan. I will simply play this, and we will be done acknowledging Alan for the remainder of this show.
Fuck you, Alan.
On that note, there's a reason why I am wearing the Beast Breaker and Little Joey shirt. Earlier today, Beast Breaker became a hero to many in this community. If you missed it, here's what you missed when a guy by the name of Six Rings called into the program. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster hotline is a Patriot fan. Six Rings has called in. Hello, Six Rings.
So see the merch I got with all the legends of the Super Bowl teams. I think you guys have to be a bottom 3 team this year.
Thanks for the time, Six Rings.
You get the fuck out.
I didn't need to hear you on a day I didn't feel well. You call in here and try to trash us, you got a lot of nerve, buddy. You're just a front runner. Now you're losing. You're a big zero calling here like this. We're going to do that number 10 jersey this year? We're going to stuff it up their rear ends.
Small market teams won titles before you guys.
This is the Asmaniac Kingdom. Go back to Patriot Land. Long
Should
gone.
I bring up the Colts have had more success than you guys?
Get lost.
What the fuck is this? This guy being on here, bro. We don't need to talk to trash bags from Boston, bro. What is that?
It's our Super Bowls. It's the greatest players. It's the ball I got.
You can throw that in the trash with everything else.
That jersey back there is worth more than your franchise.
I'm finally happy that you clowns are in last place and you're going to stay in last place. You guys can enjoy the basement. We kicked Belichick's ass out of Boston on his final game. There's no need for you to talk on this channel, bro. Jets, Jets, motherfuckers. Let's
go.
I
like the Patriots. I don't care about the Celtics. I don't care about the Red Sox, the Yankees. I'm just a Patriots fan.
You know what that sound means? It means peace out, bro.
That is the ultimate whole send-off we've had. Beast sent Six Rings to the hole. Beast Breaker just spent $50 and sent him to the hole. You talk about earning your stripes as an Asmaniac. Even if you're the biggest beast hater out there, you got to respect the hell out of that move. Wow. What a move that was by Beast. Unbelievable turn of events. Daybringer, Beast, nice job. Rich, who despises Beast. Smooth move, Beast. Reese, all love. I can't believe this. Dixon, damn Beast, respect. Purple Belt Mike. Beast killed it. Smoke Chat. Beast is getting my vote. Boomtown, what a day. Bobbleneck, never thought I'd say this. Great job, Beast.
Beast deserves just a free jersey. No raffle. Like, that was perfect.
$50. I have to match Beast in support of him. Nice job, Beast. Boom. Gator writes, and I hope the chat understands what $50 is to Beast. He doesn't have a lot. Good job, Beast. F that guy. J-Boy, that was perfect. Big fella says, so funny. Beast came to help his therapist.
Yeah, man. He did a hell of a job, bro. Good job, Beast. You stood up, man.
But I got to say, Beast, in my short-lived history watching this show, you could not have done a better job. If I heard another word from that guy, My phone would have been out the window. I can't believe that. Beast, I gotta say, you're the man today, all right?
Beast Breaker, I don't give you props all the time. Good job.
Hey, thanks, Beast, for foregoing the 10 pounds of gabagoo to get rid of that gabagoo. So I appreciate that.
Beast, bro, he's inspired me to watch WWE highlights. He doesn't understand. It's at an all-time high right now. He cannot mess this up.
Beast, well done. That is as good of a face turn as Daniel Bryan against Bray Wyatt in the steel cage. If you remember the yes movement.
Hell yeah. What a moment. Shout out to Beast Breaker. A moment we'll be talking about forever.
So this guy's wearing a green shirt underneath his Patriots jersey. He says he doesn't care about any other Boston sports, but I have a strange feeling that that's a Celtics shirt. And also, I smell tons of criminality, in the words of the Bat Fella, coming from that dude's bed. Like, what? Why are you calling into a show that requires a webcam and your bed looks like that? Like, come on.
Unreal turn of events. Well done to everyone out there.
Beast, though. I was on the fence with him and Beasley, and now that he has done this, I think I'm swaying a little bit more towards Beast's side again.
Hell yeah, baby. Team Beast. Team Beast. Let's see. Thunderlips writes in, I got this show playing on TV. Wife just woke up from a nap with the alarm like we're getting nuked from Russia.
That or Beast screaming was going to wake her up.
Yeah, she was going to wake up at some point. It was just a matter of when, if you're watching this show with the sound on in your living room. Just a heads up. It gets loud at times on this show. With that said, Beast is in the raffle for a bunch of entries. We doubled his initial 10 for the 50 spot. If you want in on the Asmaniac raffle, which will be later this week, get the membership to be entered for your chance to win a Walt Clyde Frazier jersey, a Joe Namath jersey, and a CJ Mosley jersey. Our top three prizes in the raffle. Get the membership or send in a $10 super chat or higher, and you will be entered for your chance to win. Before we do something brand new with Dylan for the first time on the show, everyone out there, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Quick reminder, and info on Tampa. If you're coming to the Asmaniac meetup for week 3, Jets Bucks, there's info in the Discord. We have a Saturday night party locked in. We're doing a tailgate in the morning. And I'm also seeking feedback on just roughly how many listeners are going to be looking to book a hotel room. I'm finalizing a deal with a prominent hotel in the Tampa area that's going to offer a group rate, so a little discounted option for people to all stay in the same spot. About 10 minutes from the stadium, about 12 minutes from the airport, right in downtown Tampa Bay. So all that info and more is in my Discord, which you gain access to as one of the perks of your Patreon membership. Just go to patreon.com/Jake Asman Show, as that is the best way to support me and find out about all this Asmaniac meetup stuff before the general public. With that said, Dylan, you are going to show us how it's done on the Telestrator. You mentioned Leonard Taylor before. Let's talk about Leonard Taylor. Is he someone that you believe Aaron Glenn and this coaching staff is maybe higher on than we are as fans, and that could maybe be the reason why they were not as aggressive as we thought they would be in the draft, let's say, trying to find a defensive tackle next to Quinnen Williams? Let's start there.
Yeah, given the lack of contracts and lack of drafted defensive tackles, only 2 UDFAs, you have to assume that they feel some type of way about Leonard Taylor III. So over the past week, I watched all 262 of Leonard Taylor's snaps. It was quite a grind. I'm not going to lie. It took multiple days. I fell asleep at my desk a couple times, but that's what you got to do, right? When you're in the weeds in May for the diehards, you got to find all 14 clips that you can find of Leonard Taylor III and present them on your YouTube channel. So I'm very high on Leonard Taylor. I don't know if that's necessarily going to turn into, success on the field or a large impact role on the defensive line. Let's note I am a big Malachi Corley fan, and that turned out to be a complete dud in his first year. But yeah, man, I'm so excited for Leonard Taylor III to probably be that third guy behind, like I said, Quinnen and Noddy. He's going to be your guy who's going to eat up 35% of the snaps and be a heavy rotational player, in my opinion.
So the debut of Dylan on the Telestrator. We haven't done this before. Dylan has a Telestrator, so he's going to not draw male genitalia on your screen. he's going to, in fact, break down some film on Taylor. So, Dylan, we hand things over to you. You got a couple plays from Leonard Taylor that we're going to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. So for anybody who is interested in the technology, it's a Wacom drawing tablet with stylus. I don't know if I'll be able to hold it up. It looks kind of like this. You just draw, you get 4 hotkey buttons. You get a couple buttons on your pen. They have small, medium, and large. And I think as you go up, you get more buttons. So you can just have more hotkeys. But for now, I have the small one. And the first clip I have is week 3 against the New England Patriots. I tried to go in chronological order from the season. Shout out to Max. Is that his name? The Remember the Tight Ends guy?
Yep.
Used Epic Pen on your stream the other day, because as soon as he did that, my gear started going, and I was like, dude, you got to send me the link on how to download it on my Mac, and I'm going to buy a telestrator, because this is something I've been trying to do with film for probably 4 years, ever since I really felt like I had a good grasp of just the layman terms of film, because I can't get in the weeds like the Joe Blewitts and the Andrew Fialcos, but I feel like when I kind of water things down for people, it's a little bit informative as well. So that's kind of my shtick with the film. So first clip I have is week 3 against the Patriots. But before we play the play, I want to just let everybody know, if I'm talking about 3 tech, 1 tech, 0 shade, I'm going to draw it up on the screen, just show everybody what the technique alignments are, and we'll start from there. So if you're head up on the center, they're going to call that a 0 shade. If you are head up on the guard, that is a 2 technique, and you can also be a 2-eye technique. If you are head up on the tackle, you could be a 4 or a 4-eye, which just means you're shaded inside the tackle, like you see number 97 is there. So 4-eye, 2-eye, 0 shade. And then when you're looking in the gaps of the center and the guard, that is the 1 technique. Between the guard and the tackle, where Leonard Taylor III is currently lined up, would be the 3 technique. Outside the outside shoulder of the tackle would be the 5 technique. And then where Michael Clemens is all the way outside the tight end is that Saleh famous wide 9 technique. So obviously it goes both ways. I just wanted to draw each side as they were. So you'll see first clip I have Leonard Taylor kind of playing the 4-eye or 3 technique right here in the gap between the tackle and the guard. And what they run on this particular defensive play is called a TE stunt, which just means that the tackle stunts down and the looper comes around into the A gap. So they're going to actually run this as a mirrored concept, which means 97 is going to do the same thing and allow for Will McDonald to loop into the A gap as well. So I'll talk through the entire play and then we'll run it through. But Leonard Taylor is going to stunt down towards the tackle. And during his pass rush arc, he's going to get a little held up. And then he's going to keep working and press back inside, essentially running that exact same looper stunt path as Michael Clemens. But if you notice too, our guy Will McDonald, he gets home as well. So this is a half sack for Leonard Taylor. It's an all effort play because he's supposed to just be freeing up Michael Clemens. But as we play it through, you'll see that he just kind of works through the tackle and the guard, and he's able to create a half a sack as well. So there he is stunting. You see 99 and 72 loop, and McDonald and Leonard Taylor get home. So I'll play it a little slower so that we can see fully. There you have Leonard Taylor crashing, occupying the guard and the tackle, and you see 97 on the opposite side doing the same exact thing. And then 72 and 99, they're going to fake like they're engaging with the tackles, and they're going to loop inside. See him looping toward the A gap. Look at Will McDonald. I mean, this is just ridiculous. But this is where we're keying in on right here is Leonard Taylor, excuse me, as I mess up. And he's just going to run that arc. See, he's basically running Michael Clemens' exact route to the quarterback. He just does it better, and he's faster and he's stronger. And we know Michael Clemens is not going to, do it for the defensive line. So Leonard Taylor had to do it for him. So all in all, I think it wasn't supposed to be a Leonard Taylor the third play, and we'll play it back one more time. But it became a Leonard Taylor the third play. And if we can highlight our guy Will McDonald at the same time, why not? So he just works through all the hands. He had 4 hands on him at one point, and he still gets the half a sack. So just ridiculous effort on the TE stunt from Leonard Taylor.
Interesting note about that game, by the way. Drake May didn't start. It was still Brissett at that time. He came in because the Jets were kicking the Patriots' ass that night. So that's why Drake May got a little welcome to the NFL at the end, taking hit after hit from the Jets D-line.
Yeah, and the PTSD didn't really have to set in with this one where it's like, oh, rookie quarterback in a big blowout situation. And then the Baker Mayfield, his debut game where he came back on the Jets and they threw the Cleveland special and went up on the Jets in the second half. That wasn't the case with this one. They were able to finally, close a game. That was their best 60 minutes of football all season. And it happened on September 20th or something like that. So it was just unfortunate, but also at the same time, a great game to look back on.
Before you get to the next play, Dylan, real quick, I want to bring this up here from Boomtown. He goes, Jake, will you be accepting super chat drawing requests for Dylan to draw on his screen? Yes. If you super chat something in, Dylan will draw something. All right. So if you super chat something and say, hey, Dylan, draw a trait, Dylan's going to take out that telestrator and he's going to draw a trait. Those are the rules. All right.
Absolutely. Anything is fair game.
Anything that won't get me demonetized. Legal warning.
Yes. Let's say that. Let's say that. Absolutely.
So there you go. All right, back to the Leonard Taylor breakdown here. A couple more plays you got for us.
Yep. So this one, let me see what the title says so I can remember a little bit. Okay, this is a TT stunt. So we just saw the tight end or the TE stunt, which was tackle first, and then the end loops around. This one is a TT stunt where you have Solomon Thomas, who's in the 2-eye technique. He's going to crash down through the center and this left guard. And the left tackle is going to engage on Leonard Taylor III, but then he's going to work up to the second level to get Chaz Surratt. And Michael Onwenu kind of does the same thing. He's just in no man's land trying to block a second level defender. So as Solomon Thomas crashes down, you see the looper from Leonard Taylor III, and he just ends up perfectly in the rush lane. And number 4, I think that's Antonio Gibson for the Patriots. He has nowhere to go. And when you meet 96 in the hole and you're giving up that many pounds to him as a running back, there is no way 96 shouldn't come up with this stop. So we'll play it through and then I'll draw it up once more so you can see. Solomon crashes, frees up the opening hole. I mean, if I'm number 4, I'm kind of shitting my pants there. Okay, this is a busted play. And it's actually a good play for Solomon Thomas as well, which is, again, very rare. But we'll pull it back to here. You'll see right there, Solomon Thomas engages with the center. And Leonard Taylor III, again, has 4 hands on him between the left tackle and the guard. Now, the guard has kind of let go of Leonard Taylor III. The right tackle is 4 yards past the line of scrimmage, working on Jamie and Sherwood, it looks like. And it leaves that. If this is the situation that you find yourself in as a running back, just do the smart thing and go down, because Leonard Taylor is going to punish you no matter what. So I was just really, this is the defensive line under Saleh. They don't care about stopping the run, it seems, right? So to kind of get lucky and be in the right place at the right time here is more the theme, but also now you're seeing 2 plays in a row where 4 hands were on Taylor. He gets off of it, works through it, and makes a great play. I think this was a 1 or 2 yard gain at most. So, again, we saw a pass play. Now we're seeing a run play for Leonard Taylor III. It giving you a little bit of a full bag with Leonard Taylor. I'm not going to just show pass rush. I'm not just going to show run stuff. I'm going to show both things that he can do well, because if you're the defensive tackle 3 on this team, you might not get a ton of reps like the backups did last year for the Jets, but you're going to get, like I said, 30 to 35% of the snaps on the season, and you have to make the most of them. And I think Leonard Taylor is the one who can capitalize the most on those areas.
If he takes a big step, that shows us a lot about the ability of this coaching staff to develop guys. I mean, that'd be a nice win for them. Thered be no doubt there.
100%. And I'm blanking on who the defensive line coach's name is. I don't think he was a big familiar name when they hired him, but those are going to be, we have to find out who our developmental coaches are. last year and with the Robert Saleh regime, it seemed like it was Rudy, the linebackers coach, Tony Oden, and Marcon Manuel, the safety and DBs coaches. Offensively, we didn't have a single developmental coach except for maybe Sean Jefferson, who is the holdover. And I don't even think he was developmental. I think that the new staff thinks he could be developmental, but we've lacked developmental coaches with our coaching staff before. So I'm really interested to see not only what players develop, but what coaches develop and get the most out of their players.
Eric Washington is the defensive line coach. Cameron Davis is the assistant offensive line coach. Both guys obviously are new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was going to say, I don't think there was any holdovers on defensive staff, and only Sean Jefferson was the holdover for offense.
Quick super chat from David before we get to the next play, then we'll do plenty of your calls, as we always do with Dylan here. David, you're in the raffle for 2. Appreciate your contributions, my friend. Dylan, Leonard Taylor III was projected by at least some to be drafted in the middle rounds of last year's drafts. What are the reasons you believe he wasn't drafted at all?
I didn't watch his Miami film when we drafted him because last year there was just too many UDFAs to kind of project and pick 1 or 2 to really plant my flag on. So I would have done more of like the Eric Watts, Braden McGregor ones because we needed edge, in my opinion. But I mean, between rounds 5 through 7 and even UDFAs, the grade difference is so minimal. Like when you write it up for like a scouting report, it's like splitting hairs. You can go in the 5th, you can go in UDFA. I think the Jets just kind of, found value where they found it. I'm not sure why he fell all the way to UDFA if he was projected as a 5th rounder, but I don't think it had anything to do with the person, the character. Obviously you're seeing what he did in his first year in the league. So I would kind of just throw that out if I'm being honest, because projections don't mean anything. We saw what happened with Shadur Sanders. He was projected to go in the 1st round and then maybe even 2nd round in some people's minds, but fell all the way to the 5th. So I don't know. It's hard to completely evaluate why he fell all the way to UDFA.
Comments, questions, super chats, they'll continue to cut the line like these two from Charles Broccoli Bush saying, "Hey, Jake, it's getting longer down here, and it's been so long since I've gotten a haircut." Dylan, you don't need to comment on that. Back to the film review we go. What do we got for our next play?
All right, so this one is from the famous Halloween game against Houston, the Garrett Wilson ridiculous catch. You're going to see Leonard Taylor here in the 3 technique roll between the guard and the tackle. He's going to do what I call a stack and shed. He's going to, engage with the left guard. I believe that's Kenrick Green. And he's going to instantly use his left arm and just toss him aside. And Joe Mixon has nowhere to go. It's an easy tackle for loss. So just further proof that I think Leonard Taylor III can be in on your 1st and 2nd down run situations. I'm a huge proponent of you got to play both the run and the pass in this scheme for Steve Wilkes and Aaron Glenn. I don't think they're going to keep you in. Maybe, certain circumstances, they'll have a designated pass rusher on the edge, but I don't think their interior guys are going to be able to be one-dimensional. So I'll play this one slowly first so you can see just exactly like the technique he uses to throw off Green, but then we'll play it full at the end. So Leonard Taylor again, 3 technique. He engages with the left tackle, and see, I already think he has good leverage. He's keeping his eyes toward the backfield. He's looking at that ball, making sure CJ Stroud doesn't keep it on a play action, and he knows that it's a run play. He's got his right hand on the left shoulder of the guard, and he uses his left hand and all his leverage to just throw Kenrick Green aside. There it is. Look at that left arm. He has pushed him now 2 yards out of the play. And again, you're a running back meeting Leonard Taylor III in the hole like this. You might as well just be smart and go down. And I think that's what Joe Mixon kind of realized. He tries to spin out of it. There's no way it's going to work. So again, another great play from Leonard Taylor against the run. Dude, I get so fired up watching him make all these plays because he's so young. And I think the ceiling is still so high for him. So I'm really excited for what he can do against the run. All right. Play 4. We got another great effort run stop against the combo block. This one, I'm going to draw quite a bit of because I think the offensive line got their assignments wrong, and Leonard Taylor just kind of takes advantage of it, so to speak. So you're going to see a combo block from the center and the left guard, which a combo block essentially means that they're both going to go after Leonard Taylor, and then they're going to work off of that to a new target. So you don't see, I think it's Josh Oliver who comes in off the left side, and the center disengages with Taylor to pursue Isaiah Oliver at the second level. And then 76, I believe, is Brandon Scherf. He disengages at the same time to go block Sherwood at the second level. But you see Walker Little, he is running free at Jamie and Sherwood. So now you have 3 guys and nobody's blocking Leonard Taylor. So he takes advantage of it. Once again, we'll see the combo block. I'll play this one slow and kind of draw it up as we see. There it is. Oliver, number 23, just entered the screen. You see Taylor slide down from the 3 technique right here to the 1 technique in between the center and the guard. Boom. They're both engaged right here with Leonard Taylor. Look at Walker Little. His eyes are squarely on Jamie and Sherwood, right? He's going after Sherwood. The center is going to disengage and run after Isaiah Oliver. Look, you see you can kind of form where his eyes are going based on his helmet. He's looking right at 23. Number 76, Brandon Scherf, is moving towards Jamie and Sherwood as well. So if I had to guess, their offensive assignment was that Scherf was supposed to stay on Leonard Taylor III a little bit longer, and the center was supposed to climb, and the left tackle was supposed to climb. But now you have whatever the hell this guy's doing, falling on the ground, and then 2 guys running after Sherwood, 1 guy running after your backup nickel DB, and you're leaving your big defensive interior player. Once again, he throws off the center, and boom. There's just nothing Bigsby can do. His name is Tank, so he always falls forward, but he gets 5 yards on the play. So Leonard Taylor, again, we'll play it one more time through full speed. Slides down from the 3 technique to the 1 technique. You get BTJ in motion. Easy win on the combo block. Leonard Taylor is just showing out in the run game at this point.
Love it. Before we get to this final play, Dylan, just want to shout out Chuck. You got the membership train rolling today. You gifted 1 channel membership. Chuck, you're in the raffle for 1. Thank you very much. JC is the recipient of the membership. JC's icon is a Bills icon. So it just tells you we welcome all fans here. But if you root for a team that's a rival of the Jets, we will still say bleep you. But appreciate you tuning in, JC. And Chuck, thank you for the contributions. Big Fella says, I got the Mosley jersey. Big Fella, thank you. You won the daily raffle prize. We're giving away another CJ Mosley autographed jersey when we do the Asmaniac raffle, which will probably be probably Sunday or Monday is what we're aiming to do to really kick off end the week. And then I got a bunch of really cool prizes for the next raffle for raffle 28. So we're giving away some heavy hitters this week. Name it jersey and the Clyde jersey with the CJ Mosley jersey. And there'll be some other daily raffles mixed in going forward as well. Appreciate all you guys for your support. The more support we get, the more giveaways we can continue to do. All right, Dylan, final play of the Leonard Taylor breakdown here. What do you got?
Yeah, and before we get into it, I'm looking behind the scenes. I see you in my Excel spreadsheet, and I'm like, who the hell is in that cell right there with the green outline? And then I look up, and it's you. So I'm like, okay, at least it's somebody that I gave permission to look at this. So I'm glad you were using that for the coaching staff because I had to immediately pull it up because I was blanking on all the new coaches' names. So the last clip I have is against the Rams. You're going to see Leonard Taylor in, I guess, the 4-eye because he is kind of, covering the inside shoulder of Havenstein, the right tackle. So this play, he does nothing in the backfield. This is all effort from Leonard Taylor III. This is week 16 of his rookie season, and this guy was a UDFA, right? So he knows that at most he might have 3 games left on this team and he could be cut. He's fighting for his job on this play. This entire game, the entire month of December, I felt like there were so many clips that YouTube hit me with copyright against the Jaguars and Rams and Dolphins that I couldn't use all of them. But if you go onto my YouTube channel, you'll see the full 14 clip breakdown. I spent over a half hour talking about him on my channel. So this was the last clip, but it's a great one because it's full effort. Again, he's the 4-eye technique against the right tackle. 27 yards down the field is where Leonard Taylor is when he makes this play. You're going to see him disengage with a double team as Stafford rolls to his right. He does that, I don't know, that Josh Allen type thing where he points and just chucks a prayer to his best receiver, and Puka Nacua comes down with it. But you'll see exactly where Leonard Taylor is when the ball is caught by Nacua and just how quickly he closes the gap on him. So you get Nacua in a return motion. And again, the theme, man, he's just breaking these double teams. Again, 4 hands on him. He doesn't win, but he kind of forces the scramble. Backyard BS. Look where Leonard Taylor III is, everybody. He's at the 37-yard line. Easy 10 yards, even 15 yards, because I paused it late, behind Puka Nacua with 2 guys in his face. That's, I believe, Chuck Clark and Sauce Gardner. So you would expect one of those guys to make the tackle, right? No, 96 has to do it for them. Oh, excuse me. That's Brandon Eccles who made the pathetic attempt at a tackle. So we'll run it back. That's truly where Leonard Taylor was when the football was caught. What is that, the 43-yard line? And Nacua is at the 27. So he closes over 15 yards of distance between them. Like, just absolutely insane.
Coaches love that stuff, right? I'm sure Aaron Glenn saw that on film and was like, wow.
100%. This is the type of stuff that Leonard Taylor put on film that got noticed by the new staff. I mean, they paid Jamien Sherwood without ever seeing him play a snap in their defense. Why couldn't they keep a UDFA in Leonard Taylor and say, hey, we can tap into this and get the most out of him at the same time? So a complete effort play to end the series here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because my background is a bunch of BS and icons that nobody wants to see. So that's pretty much the gist of Leonard Taylor III. Good in the run, good in the pass. I need to do more study on the other guys like Tufele, Cowart, Noddy to see exactly where I would project these guys. But I don't think Leonard Taylor is anywhere like he's probably the 3rd best at worst. He might even be the 2nd best defensive tackle that this team currently has. That's not to say they couldn't add one, but I do think that his upside, his physicality, his effort, his strain, I hate using those solo words, but his effort and his strain are so evident on film with all those clips. How many of them did he have 4 hands on him and he got off the blocks? So it just speaks volumes of the type of player that he could be, coming from a UDFA to actually having a pretty sizable role for this defensive line in 2025 and beyond.
So Dylan, on his personal YouTube channel, which everyone should go subscribe, did a 30-minute, as he referenced, breakdown on Taylor. So if you want more, I just put the link in the chat. It did very well. It was the most viewed Dylan video to date with over 3,000 views. So support Dylan's content. He's launching the channel. You already have, what, 400 subscribers already?
I'm close. I think like 360 or 370. Yeah, somebody even put my – thank you. Somebody put my film review in the Badlands Discord. So you know you're kind of doing something right when it makes it to a Discord that's full of diehards. And somebody even said, they're like, is this guy in the Discord? Because nobody puts out a video like this in May that isn't in a Badlands or Jake Asman Discord. And I'm like, yep, I'm here. Hello. I was like, that's for the diehards. So for everybody who wants to see more Leonard Taylor, go over to my channel. It'll be, it's definitely my best video by far. So 14 total clips over a half hour.
The chairman of the Asmaniac Madness Committee, the great Boomtown, is in the raffle for one. He gifted a channel membership. Listener Yehuda Rosenberg is the recipient of the membership from Boom. Boom, thank you as always. I don't know if you're going to be able to draw this one. Mickey using an Asmaniac super chat saying, Dylan, can you draw my dad cheating on my mom back in 1998?
Yeah, let's see what we can do. Let me pull up a screen that I can use to draw on that would show the picture well.
Now, if you
That's
really
why-
want to be a legend, this is what you need to do. You need to go full John Madden, who was known for drawing male genitalia during his breakdown when he was calling games back in the day, including this famous one here from the Giants and the Cowboys back on Sunday Night Football.
That's disproportionate, hopefully, to most people's genitalia. But yes, Madden was very notorious for doing that, and not even like purposefully. He just accidentally does it a lot.
If you have a request for Dylan to draw, super chat it in. I don't know if you're going to be able to draw this one, but I'm all for you taking a
We're
taking
gonna
a shot
try our
at it.
best here. It's gonna take me a minute, but we're gonna try our best.
Beast Breaker spending all this money. Beast, save some of your money. He's just spent $2 saying, "Can Dylan learn art?"
I don't know if I can learn art, but I certainly can learn achievement.
You believe in achievement, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
I don't believe everything I see and read because I'm only 30, but yeah, there's definitely an element of you have to respect people who have done things in their lifetime.
I just saw this comment from Jay. Not keeping Morstead was a huge mistake. I wanted them to keep Thomas Morstead. I agree. And did you see who signed him today? The San
Yes,
Francisco 49ers. So Robert Saleh gets reunited with Thomas Morstead. And also, did you see Chaz Surratt signed a deal with the Niners as well? So Saleh is bringing back all his friends in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's not surprising, right? Who's the special teams coordinator in San Fran? Because I wouldn't be surprised if it was also Brant Boyer. I don't think he necessarily followed Saleh to San Fran, but that would not surprise me if that was the case.
You want to laugh? Brant
It's
Boyer
Brant Boyer.
is the special teams coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, man. Like, you failed with these guys, and you're immediately going to try again with them. Like, it doesn't compute. How do you do this? That's like if they went out and signed Aaron Rodgers instead of paying Brock Purdy that mega deal. Like, what sense does it make?
Shanahan putting a lot of belief in Saleh, saying, we want your feedback on these guys because they're not making these moves unless Saleh's on board with it.
Yeah, no, exactly. He's giving them their stamp of approval. Kyle Shanahan is just kind of giving him what he wants, which Kyle Shanahan is just going to blame him if they lose the Super Bowl like he did for Steve Wilkes. So we know how that's going to
go. Patriots 12. Wait a second. Patriots 12. This is the 6 rings guy. He sent in a super chat here, but it's not U.S. money. I think he's what? Is that Canadian money? The CA there. So this guy is a Pats fan, but he doesn't even live in the New England area. I'm calling fraud. I'm calling bandwagoner. Pats 12, aka 6 rings. You better prove that you are a Patriot fan that is from that area. Otherwise, you're a bandwagoner. You're a fraud. Fraud. So he better prove himself.
I have a lot of questions for how he found your show, why he decided to call in and say the things he did today. I mean, sure, we could be the 3rd worst team in the league, but the Patriots were literally just that, right? Like, they were just picking top 4. And like, I just don't get it. How a guy who has only seen the basement with his team for a couple years is slinging so much shit at a team that could be much better than them. I mean, their offensive line is not that good, right? Like, where is Will Campbell going to play? Is he a tackle? Is he a guard? Like, I don't know. If he doesn't make it at tackle, he can have a spot at guard because they're so depleted of talent on the line. But I'd be worried if I was, in charge of coaching Drake May. If I'm Josh McDaniels, I'm like, oh shit, this might be bad. And we're going to have to use, his legs way more often than we want to this season.
Now, I see your screen share, Dylan. Can I put it up on the screen?
Yeah, I tried my best.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan was taking requests if you super chatted in. And the request earlier was from Mickey, a longtime listener of the show. He's been a channel member for over a year now. Dylan, can you draw my dad cheating on my mom back in 98? And this is what Dylan came up with.
Sorry for putting your dad in the chair.
This is pretty good.
I tried. That's what I got.
This looks like this actually happened. I feel like I'm in 1998 right now.
Yeah, if this was recorded in 1998, it's about the quality that you'd get.
Tremendous. All right, well done. If anyone has any more requests, super chat it in. Mimosa just wrote that. Good luck, Dylan. Just subscribe to your show. There you go.
You're the best, Mimosa.
Let's see. Comments, questions, super chats. Thunderlips wrote in, I was looking for Patriot shows on YouTube earlier. Their fan base sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're probably not enough because they're not as diehard as us and they're not as great as Jets fans to be, you know, so popular on YouTube. Like, who the hell is the popular Patriots guy? I don't even know.
Well, I've said this. People think I'm crazy. It's very unusual how many content creators are for the Jets that are all able to have the followings they do. Like, it's not like that in other markets. I know this for a fact because I've looked into it before. I was in Houston where there's no Texans creators other than two guys who used to be radio people who did what I did, left radio to do YouTube full time. It just doesn't exist in other markets. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you and O'Leary have like over 40,000. I know Buffalo has like close to 15,000 subscribers. Like, I don't know what content creators for other teams are doing that at such a level. So like, it just shows how great the chat and the community is for this team. And that's why I can't wait, dude. You know how quickly you'll hit 50,000 if this team was actually good?
I look what's happening with the Knicks, right? And it's like, that could be the Jets if they figure it out, man. You know, obviously
100%.
we're all disappointed with last night for sure, but you know, like the Knicks went 25 years without going to the conference finals. Like, and now everyone is all in and excited. The Jets were just 9-8. This fan base would go crazy. Oh my God. Sco with a super chat. Salute, fellas. Sco, thank you. Tough loss for your Mets today. Big fella with a super chat. Jake, here's my rendering of Pats fans poop. Okay.
Fair description.
Looks accurate to me. Let's get to some calls, shall we? Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. First up today on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is none other than the immortal, the incomparable David effing
I got my eye on you. Check, make me full screen. It's fireball whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
Hi guys.
David, how's it going?
Hello, David.
Hello. And Jake, give yourself some credit. You're the one that developed all this. And the way you guys handled, is it 6 rings? You handled it with class. And, you know, the Jets fans are the best. And, you know, it was really good. And as far as Justin Fields goes, my feeling is they're you know, right from the get-go when they signed him, you know, he was going to be the starting quarterback, and you know, they're going to develop their own offense. The only thing that scares me, guys, is I would love to see, and it could be critical for his future that he gets better at passing. I just hope they don't put an emphasis on him running first and passing later.
I've kind of said the same thing. I would rather him be developed as a passer because we already know what he can be as a runner. So I want to see the development of him as a passer to know if he really could be the long-term quarterback of this team. If he rushes like he always has, we'll know those things. Like, we've already been exposed to those things and discovered those things. So yeah, let's get him to be more of an efficient passer. Maybe, you know, like I said, confidence is going to be key. Not that he lacks it, but that the coaching staff doesn't work on that. They don't like expand on his confidence. They don't allow him to play with more confidence. So if we can see Justin Fields play in that level of comfortability, then it's going to mirror his Ohio State days. Maybe not the exact same, but it's going to look more like Ohio State than it did Chicago or Pittsburgh.
You know what? It's funny, Dylan. He's a stud. He's a specimen. He's got a great arm. He's got, you know, and the NFL's been through this with many quarterbacks. But can you get that? You know, the passing ability, the touch. You know, reading the defenses and all that kind of stuff. And that still be developed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be the key, right? That's going to be Engstrand's job. That's going to be Fields' job. That's going to be Charles London, the quarterback coach's job. It's all going to be all hands on deck to see what kind of passer they can make him, because Aaron Glenn has to put his money where his mouth is. He says we want to let him play quarterback, and now let's see him play quarterback.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm positive. I'm excited. I got the most positivity.
Yeah. I mean, what else can we have in May? It's not like if you're too negative at this point, like you're not going to make it to August just spewing negativity every day. Like you're going to tire yourself out, honestly.
Right, exactly. And hearing about with you experts and Jake how they're developing this team, and it's still all going to come down to as opposed to the Saleh regime, and he was just a heck of a nice guy, but it's a different, but it remains to be seen.
Who's a nicer guy, you or Robert Saleh, David T?
Well, thank you for giving me the compliment, but Robert Saleh is a heck of a nice guy. My brother taught. He always taught me it's not hard to be nice. Doesn't cost you any money. I mean, if you're brought up, you had a pretty good life. It's not hard to be nice to people.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wise words from the great David T.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. They call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
I think David T is nicer, for the record, Dylan.
10 out of 10, I would vote David T. Somebody in the chat asked me to draw David T, so if you want to throw it up, you can.
Was it a super chat?
It was not.
It doesn't count. Doesn't count.
All right, cool. All right, that's fine.
I'm a Capplefish, baby. And Dylan's getting a cut of all the drawing requests. Don't you think? Don't you think?
Oh
for a
yeah,
second?
come on, super chat them in then. What are we doing?
I take care of my people on this show.
Whoever asked for David T's eye, come back in with a super chat and we'll put it on the screen.
It
was David.
It was David himself who wanted that.
David
Aaron.
Ron,
okay.
Yeah.
From one David to another. I love it. Chuck says Cody is the best in Houston. Yes. Shout out to my old radio partner, Cody Stutz, the man, the myth, the legend. C with a super chat. I'm sure you touched on this already, but Hassan Reddick not showing up for OTAs is hilarious. F that guy. It's like the least surprising thing ever. I did enjoy when I saw that story, though.
Yeah, no, 100% was not surprised. I just laugh at this point because it's not our problem anymore. And I want to see how, the media covers ex-Jet players that do the exact same thing on different teams, because maybe they might, because people talk about how good Hassan Reddick was and how big of a loss it is for the Jets. When you see the free agent additions and subtractions, Hassan Reddick is on the list. And I'm like, why is he on the list? He didn't do a goddamn thing for us. So you could take your half sack, 1.5 sacks down to Tampa, and we'll see you week 3.
It might be drawing time. Mike Dem's in the raffle for 2, but more importantly, he writes in David T. Yeah. Dylan, whenever you're ready.
You can share it. It's ready.
Here we go. I present Dylan's drawing of David T's eyes. This is probably one of the great bits we've had. Shout out to Boomtown for the suggestion.
The heavy metal remix of it is great.
Incredible. All right, we got some heavy hitters on the line here, so let's do some calls. Ladies and gentlemen, first, or actually not first, David was first, but second up is our guy, Indy Jets. Indy, you don't need to rub it in. We know your Pacers won last night.
I wasn't even going to start off with that, Jake. I was going to start off with, I was going to congratulate the Asman community for the way they handled 6 rings. I missed the show. I didn't get to watch it, so I had to watch it, on repeat. And just to hear how the community just, can pick out an idiot and just lay it into him. And congratulations to the Beast to go. The Beast, even the Beast had it. I'm not a big Beast fan, but congratulations to the Beast for just saying, I've had enough. Here you go, Jake. He's out of here. Yeah, yeah, and great job today, Dylan. You can break down film. Some people break down film and they stay far more technical than other people can necessarily relate to. I think you do a great job of getting both sides. You can do a great. You can go real technical on that and yet still explain it for everybody. So great job with that. Keep up the great work. I think I
really
was like the
appreciate that.
33rd subscriber to Dylan, or something like that. I don't know. He puts out some great content.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
kind
so
of my thing
on
with
my
the
last.
film is like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead,
I was
Dylan. Yeah.
gonna say that's my thing with the film is I don't want to get too technical, but I do want to at least tell you the kind of foundational things. Like I'm not going to be able to tell you every single technique that they do and things like that, but I can tell you where they line up in the gaps, and I can tell you, push, pull, stack, shed, like those things like that. So I appreciate that. I do try to find that middle ground.
And you do it. You do a great job of it. Do a great job of it. And Dylan, I know you're a numbers guy. You like numbers. And and Jake knows this is coming. It's only happened 13 times in the history of the NBA where a team has come back 3-1 in a playoff scenario. But out of that 13 times, it's only happened 5 times in the Eastern Conference, and it's only happened 2 times in the Eastern Conference Finals. So what are the chances?
So we're due for it.
That that the Knicks have. Give me your opinion of what are the chances now.
If I had to put a percentage chance on it, I'd say it's probably around 15 to 18% chance they come back and win this thing. I'm pulling for them, but I mean, when you have a guy who's nice as Indy, it's hard to root against him as well. My team is the Heat, and they've been out of it. I'm already looking at sleeper app of who's going to get traded to and from the Heat. So they're already doing the Connor Hughes thing with the Knicks. They're already like firing the coach and wiping the whole roster. The Heat need that. The Knicks don't, and the Pacers certainly don't either. But I'd say 15 to 18% chance the Knicks can still win because they're favored tomorrow night. So I'm finally learning a little bit. I lean into the Knicks and they let me down, but I feel like that's par for the course, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not going to be easy, but there's a chance. Right, 3-1's been done, and 2 of the games for the Knicks would be at home. Now they haven't played ball at home, but eventually you think, they would be able to figure it out at the Garden. The goal is to win tomorrow. Like as disappointing as last night was, and I posted a whole segment on the channel if you want more on the game from last night. They're favorites tomorrow. Win, get it back to Indy, and you have a chance when you have 2 stars on the court. And like these 2 teams are very even. Like we're a couple plays here or there from it being 2-2 right now. Like it took the most improbable, historic choke job / comeback, however you want to describe it, for what happened in Game 1. I mean, it's very close series, but Indiana's been better right now, and the Knicks got to show some pride at the bare minimum and not lose at home tomorrow. Show some pride. Don't let this team beat you in your building and get to celebrate. Going to the NBA Finals. That's the goal. Survive, I'll be there tomorrow night, and they got to at least keep the season alive for another day. It kind of reminds me when they were down 3-1 to your Heat a few years ago, and they won Game 5 at the Garden and lost a really, really tough one, Game 6 in Miami. I could see something similar happening, but we'll see. Hopefully the Knicks just win the next 3. How about that?
I have a question for you. What is Josh Hart's jersey number?
Number 3.
Number 3. That's what I thought. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dylan asked that question because C sent in a super chat. Draw Josh Hart punching Halliburton in the face. Dylan, whenever you're ready, we will show your latest piece of art.
This one is not going to be as good as the cheating scenario here. No chair in the corner for those who seem to like the chair in the corner. But it's ready. Halliburton's number 0, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, Halliburton is number 0.
Cool.
Is it ready?
It's ready.
There we go.
I don't know how to draw a jersey on a stick figure. So obviously the purple is Tyrese throwing the choke sign up and Josh Hart punching him right in the face. He's getting the mega fist. So you guys are incredible.
I think this is pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who used a machete to shave his face is on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
You'll never get my chicken soup recipe. I'm not saying that Lowski takes steroids. Please, some of it. Hey, child! Who is that lovely lady? Sing it this
Hey everyone. First off, I want to thank Gator for sending me that electric shaver, excuse me. I appreciate that. I haven't had one of my own since I was in college, but thank you again, Gator.
I couldn't tell.
What do you mean you couldn't tell?
It's a joke, Charles. Never mind.
First off, I have a message for that Patriots fan. What's his name? 12 rings, 6 rings?
Yeah.
Whatever the hell his name is. You just made your entire Patriot fan base look like complete idiots and assholes. And speaking of your 6 rings, you could turn. Excuse me. There's kids in this kids in this section, so I'm gonna sit in another section. You could take your 6 rings, turn them into beads, and shove them up where the sun don't shine.
Charles, it's a family show.
Yeah, but I'm saying it politely and less disgustingly.
Would you say it was disgusting when you called in with a gunshot wound on your neck?
With a big cut on my neck, yes. But that's different.
Okay. Now, are you in a Home Depot right now? What's happening here?
I'm in Costco.
You're in Costco. Okay.
Anyways, hey Dylan, how are you?
I'm doing well, Charles. How are you? I have a lot of questions about you moving into this apartment because I moved into
I
an
slept in
apartment.
there these past couple of days.
Really? I'm happy to hear that.
I moved, brought in some of my clothes, brought in some of my stuff. I've been living there these past couple of.
Why'd you bring the comic books instead of your clothes? That was my first
I did bring
question.
my comics and my clothes.
Oh, you brought them both. Okay. Last I heard, you had just your comic books there.
Well, I did, and then I was like, "Shit, I need clothes," and then they brought in I brought in some of my clothes for this week.
Okay, there you
go. Is it wrong for me to look? I think Justin Fields is going to have a nice year with us, depending upon if Tanner Angstrand's the real deal. Hopefully, he is. Hopefully, he's our best offensive coordinator we've had, and God knows how long. I don't want this to sound like I'm anti-dual threat quarterback, but I kind of expect Justin Fields to break out more so via passing numbers than rushing numbers. I'm not saying I don't expect him to have a good year rushing, but to me, you still got to be able to throw the football as an NFL quarterback in today's day and age. I mean, because, since the later 2010, it's been more of a passing league. And, well, I do think, Justin Fields will get at least several rushing touchdowns in. I expect him to at least, maybe 20 touchdown passes this year. Is that too much to ask, or is that okay?
No, 20 is fair for me, and I agree with you. I want to see him break out as a passer. We've kind of already seen him break out as a rusher, right, when he had 1,100 yards in Chicago. So I would love to see them, even if it doesn't work entirely in the first 6 to 8 weeks of the season, I want to see them stick with Justin Fields' development as a passer until they really get a good glimpse and a good sample size of, okay, we can stick with this for at least the next year or two, or, okay, we desperately need to go get a new quarterback, whether it's a rookie or another veteran from another team. So, yeah, I agree with you. I want to see him develop as a passer way more than I want to see him as a rusher.
Because, the guy I've always believed he had a nice arm. He does throw some nice passes here and there, but he needs to be more consistent with his decision-making. But I'm not going to fault him on that too much because the coaching he had in Chicago, was abysmal. And Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator for the Steelers, did not do a good job in utilizing his skill set, did not do a good job in coming with a game plan for him. That's the way I feel. I know the Steelers broke out for several weeks with Russell Wilson before he ended up playing like dog doo-doo the last several weeks of the season, including the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, I hope Tanner Angstrand, the guy. And personally, no disrespect, I don't care what scheme from what team they're running, as long as the damn thing works. If the scheme don't work, then we got problems.
Now, Charles, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the little Chiron mark you have under your name there. R.I.P. Peter David. Is there anything you'd like to share about the legendary, incredible Hulk rider who passed away?
Oh, you knew about it too. I had a feeling you didn't.
Bold of you to assume I didn't.
What made me assume that I didn't? Because you mostly talk about sports on your channel.
Yeah, but Peter David's a regular listener of the show.
I didn't know about that.
He's a big
Peter
Jets fan.
David. Yeah, I heard he was a Mets fan. I know he liked Liked a lot of things, Peter David. He was a good man.
Good family
Fortunately,
man?
he had. Well, yes, he was a good father and husband, from what I've heard. A lot of
How
his
do you know that?
coworkers loved him because I've heard it from reliable sources.
I need to know who your sources are.
You know, from various interviewers that I've watched on YouTube. That he seemed very humble. That a lot of his coworkers loved working with him. That, for those who do not know, he came up with the idea for Magneto ripping out Wolverine's adamantium skeleton during the climax of the Fatal Attraction story arc. You
Climax? It's a family show, Charles. Jeez.
Not that climax, you ding dong.
Oh.
Fatal Attraction is a legendary, iconic X-Men story arc. For those who don't want to, for those of you who want to know, that happened back in the 1990s.
Charles, you ever get any looks when you walk around Costco aimlessly on a show like this?
I'm looking into the phone because I know who I'm talking to.
Right, but I'm saying in the general public, like anyone at this New Jersey Costco where you are they just looking at you being like, what's this dude doing?
No, they're doing their own thing.
Oh, okay.
Are you getting the hot dog combo when you're done shopping, Charles?
I already got it. And then I went back, had some spring roll samples and some granola samples.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
go to the food court. Let's get some free samples on the air.
Food court, they have no samples in the food court. They have samples around here.
Okay.
There's granola. There's spring rolls, vegetarian spring rolls.
Let's do a spring roll.
I already had like a few.
It's the way he's gonna get mad. She's like, I've seen you too many
So
times. up
what's
here."
one more? You're on the most popular jet show on the planet.
Don't worry about it, Jake. I'm fine.
I'm very concerned, actually. I'm trying to get
The
you a
reason
free
why I
meal,
put
Charles.
R.I. Peter David out there, because for those who want to know, he was my favorite. He was probably, if not arguably, my favorite comic book writer of all time for many years. And I have several of his Incredible Hulk story arcs with me at my new place. One of the best Incredible Hulk story arcs that I read was Future Imperfect, where the Hulk meets the Might, where the Hulk encounters a futuristic version of him that's twisted and evil called the Maestro.
Hey, Charles, good idea from Dominic. Take your glasses off like a disguise and then go get some more food.
I'm fine. That's how the Clark Kent disguise works.
It looks like you're hungry, though. Are you not?
I'm more thirsty than hungry right now, but I appreciate the compliment, or the concern, I should say. I have actually. You're on Instagram, right, Jake?
Yes, I am on Instagram, Charles.
I'm gonna share with you an interview that Peter David did nearly a decade ago on Sci-Fi in regards to what story he wanted adapted in Marvel movies. After the show, of course, or after I get off this show, of course. But yeah, I love Peter David. His work was incredible. He also helped create Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara. He created the Young Justice comic series. He did runs on Aquaman and Supergirl, which from what I've heard, were pretty damn good too.
Hey, Charles, I know Gator sent you an electric razor already. My housewarming gift was going to be some aftershave, but do you need some?
I think I have some at my house, but if you want to send me some aftershave, that'll be fine.
All right, that's going to be my housewarming gift to you, all right?
I have your email address, so I'll email you my address.
I already have your address. Don't worry.
My new address.
I have it.
You sure?
Yeah, you could thank your friendly neighborhood Nick Shine for that one.
Okay, thank you.
Don't thank me.
But
Thank
yeah,
Nick.
I'll thank Nick.
What aisle are we in right now?
Right now, I'm just walking around. I'm seeing we're stopping by the toilet paper, the paper towels, and the water bottles.
On brand. So on brand to be in the toilet paper aisle.
I'm not a Charmin guy. I'm a Scott's guy.
What ply toilet paper are you using in the new place?
Scott's. I'm not a Charmin guy. I was never really a big Charmin fan, even though they've done so many commercials for it over the years.
Is it true you're soft as Charmin?
No.
Go for 2-ply, Charles. Don't get the 1-ply. You will not survive it.
I do get the 2-ply.
Good. You need it.
What I was going to say was, as for Leonard Taylor, I do expect him to be defensive tackle 3 on this team, too.
Hell yeah.
And I think Nadi, Nnadi, hope I said his name correctly.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be defensive tackle 2. As for Brian Cowart, Cowart, hope I said his name correctly and spelled it correctly and sounded it correctly. I think he's going to be defensive tackle 4.
Charles,
I
your
think that's fair.
ability to weave in a jet take after we talk about something completely unrelated is truly remarkable.
Well, I have a pretty decent memory.
You do. Bino with a super chat. Chuck Gormati drew first blood, and then Curly Norman checks in and says, Charles, take a deuce in a model toilet at Costco.
I'm not doing that right now. No.
Now I have a clip for you, Charles, before we let you go. You ready for this? So yesterday on your show, Payback was served. You famously took a dump.
I wouldn't
on
say
the Bobby
payback.
Midnight
I
Show.
knew Thunderlips was doing it.
No. I would say Payback was served.
Having some barbecue chips. Hello, Thunderlips.
What's up, Charles? Oh yeah, take us around. Let me see.
This is my table. This is my my bed stuff, but I had to get a new mattress. This is the couch I've been sleeping on. This is my television, my cable, my Xbox, my rich one. That was toilet paper. I saw that.
I don't know what you're talking about. A little bit of corn, but hey, congratulations on the house. I'm gonna wash my hands and I'll call back. I'll be back.
All right, no problem.
Oh boy, Thunderlips, jeez. That was good.
Really? You're welcome, Thunderlips, anytime.
Are you gonna invest in some poo-pourri, Charles? Some poo spray that you lay down before you go?
I'm good, guys. Thank you.
I think your nose will thank you, and all the lovely ladies will thank it too.
Yeah, I already got air fresheners in there, so don't worry about it.
No, you need the
So you don't need
poo-pourri.
Lysol.
You spray the poo-pourri in the bowl, and then it flushes with your poop, and it does not smell.
Interesting. I'll keep that in mind. I may buy it next time.
I'll get your address from Jake, and I'll send you a bulk pack.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Charles, when's the housewarming party? Like, when am I coming over and we're doing the show live from the Gorman residence?
Well, if you're going to do a show live at my apartment, we better do an origin episode about me.
Well, yeah, that will be a big part of the show.
I'll let you guys know, okay? Right now, I'm just getting used to living on my own this week.
Okay.
Have a good day, guys, all right? Stay safe.
Charles, we appreciate you calling in, and say hi to Steady Eddie for us, all right?
I will.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Charles Gorman.
Hi, I'm Charles, and I'm going to talk about Spider-Man and movies and sports and video games and maybe hot chicks.
Charles is on some run lately, man. Like, there's a reason why this man was the #1 seed.
Truly generational as a caller. And I gave Charles a lot of crap during the tournament. I said he wasn't given the 1 seed phone calls enough, but ever since the tournament ended, he has been like a 1 seed on steroids with his calls.
He wants revenge for losing in the Sweet 16. He's
100%.
using it as motivation for next year. We have some requests here for Dylan to draw
working on
stuff. Boomtown writes in, Dylan, draw me a T-Rex giving Charles Gorman a shave. Are you working on all of them on the same image?
I am, because there's 3 backed up, and I wanted to.
I just wanted to, because I can see what you're working on here. I just want to. I just wanted to try and I don't want to go to it and reveal. So which ones can I do? Luppies?
Yep, I got Luppy in there.
Okay,
and then I got
Dominic.
Which one? No, I got New Q. I'm gonna need some time on Dominic's. If we're gonna make it into a T-shirt, I need to make it look a little bit cleaner than what I'm doing right now.
Okay, so Dylan is drawing the following 3 things. First, he drew a T-Rex giving Charles Gorman a shave. Next, he drew Beast punching 3 rings. It's actually 6 rings, but we get the point. 6 rings in the face. And then the final one is New
Beast
Q's
on the grill. Yeah.
Okay. So Beast on the grill is Little Joey watches. Everyone got it? Great. Here we go. Let's see what Dylan has put together here.
He didn't tell me where on Charles he was shaving, so you can infer from Gorman's positioning where the T-Rex is trying to shave.
Truly, one of the all-time great moments was Gorman's call on Monday. Just God.
Should we send him poopery and a weed whacker?
That's a good gift. Very good gift. Henny says Josh Hart might as well punch someone in the face with the foul calls we're getting, and can Cat get hacked anymore? Looking like jail bail for us. I'll say this, and I've said this for all 3 rounds now. I've never seen a superstar player get less of a whistle than Karl Anthony Towns. It's crazy to me. Guy takes a beating. They never call it. It's wild. There's been a problem all year.
No consistency with officiating when it comes to like any sport at this point. It's like regular season, some rules apply, playoffs, different rules apply. Like, just let the guys play. Like, I'm not saying get away with hacking the shit out of each other, but like only call the egregious ones. It's the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Like, I don't know. It just seems soft when the refs make it more about them.
Ladies and gentlemen, back to your calls for the home stretch of the show. And it's time to say hello to one of our favorites. He typically leads off. Today, he's hidden right in the middle of the order.
Jake, I stepped away from the morning show. All of a sudden, you're platforming Patriot fans. What is going on over here?
Not if B says anything to say about it.
Who's next? TD Finch talk? Are we going to have Jim Kelly as a guest on the show? What is happening?
TD would actually be fun. The 6 rings guy this morning, that was an adventure, which I enjoyed, by the way. Welcome back anytime, unless he gets into the hole again.
I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I believe he's in the green room.
Well, if he calls in, maybe we'll have to put him on.
Yeah, he's cowering there in terror.
He's out there. He was in the comment section before.
Yeah, I might have Dylan draw him in a prison shower, so we'll see.
It's true.
Pretty good stuff from the breakdown there, Dylan. I enjoyed it. Do you know what position Will McDonald was playing at Iowa State? Was he playing 2I?
4I.
Like undersized 2I?
Undersized 4I. So inside the tackle's shoulder, which it's not conducive. You saw when he gets out on the edge in the 5 to 9 technique, he really thrives. So, yeah, they were playing him super poorly in Iowa State, which surprised me that he wanted to go back to his number, because I felt like 99 was such a good look for him and he was having so much success with it that he needed to continue the success. And maybe he's getting a little slimmer in the number, but he got bigger in a body mass perspective. So I think you could potentially flirt with him playing as a 4I, but again, you don't want him doing that. You want him playing as the 5 for sure.
Right. I'm just curious what we know about Glenn's defense, because I'm not real sure. I think it's pretty different from what Salah wanted to do with the wide 9, right? Because I think he prefers the larger defensive ends. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, I look at Zadarius Smith, Aiden Hutchinson. Those guys are playing north of 260, 265. I think even Zadarius was like 272 at some points last year. So he's going to put an emphasis on, size on the edge to help set the edge. And that's why the McDonald, he got stronger from last year, but didn't gain weight, has now transitioned into he's gaining weight and he's gaining strength. So I do think there is going to be a philosophical change on the defensive line. You're probably going to see tighter alignments, maybe even a scraping linebacker coming off in the C gap like Quincy. I would love to see Quincy involved more in blitzes. So yeah, I would tend to agree that they want to be bigger on the edge for sure.
Right, and I think that they might be having some sort of death match between our last year's UDFAs, because they're both pretty big guys, but I don't know if both can make the team like they did last year. I think Eric Watts goes about mid 270s, and McGregor is approaching 270 last time I checked.
Yeah.
So
They'll make the roster because Jermaine might start on the IR. So that would give them roster like gymnastic capabilities for the first couple weeks. And then when JJ's healthy, they probably push one of those guys. I would assume it would be McGregor would go down to the practice squad and they keep Eric Watts elevated.
Unless we do something unforeseen like signing Zadarius
If that's the case, then both of them probably only one of them makes the 53 initial roster.
Interesting. All right, I'll be watching. I think I'm subscribed, Dylan. I'll talk to you guys soon. I appreciate the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifton checking in. Let's see. We got a super chat from Indy Jets. Can Dylan draw the Pacers raising the trophy? Dylan, don't draw this because we said it has to be appropriate for the air. I can't get my channel demonetized. So I refuse to show such a thing, Indy Jets. But I will play this for you.
You get the fuck out.
Mother effing Chew wants to know, did you go to art school, Dylan?
No, absolutely not. I went to a very low-level high school in Warren County, New Jersey that I don't like to speak of.
Bino
and nothing
says,
further after that.
Don't forget Fidarian Mathis.
Yes. Yeah, I would say he's competing with Cowart and Tufele as like the fourth defensive tackle. I want to see him stay healthy. He wasn't able to stay healthy in Washington after being a second-round pick. They signed him and Jamin Davis from the Commanders like in January, I think. It was a Phil Savage acquisition right before they hired Glenn and Muji. So the fact that they've kept on this roster this long, I mean, maybe they do see something that Phil Savage saw in them as well. But yeah, I want to see him stay healthy, and then I think he can compete for the fourth D-tackle spot.
Earlier today, Beastbreaker spent $50 to send 6 rings to the hall for the rest of the show. If you missed it, we played the clip towards the beginning of today's show. A little screenshot of what happened earlier. But 6 rings has returned. Dylan, are you prepared to handle a call here from 6 rings himself?
Bring it on.
Ladies and gentlemen, see how long it lasts this time. 6 rings joins us now. 6 rings, hello.
Your show, man. I'll be honest. All football aside, I think your show is really creative and you're putting a lot of effort into it. So
Damn it. Now I have to be somewhat nice to you. Thank you, 6 rings.
I like
He brought
it.
out the Gary Butter on you.
And I just called for a reason. It's my day off. I don't want to bug you guys all day. You said I'm a bandwagoning fan.
Well, I said you might be. You might be. I don't know.
I've been around since like Per Warner and Tom Brady. I've been watching this team. Toronto never has a football team. So really, I could watch the Argos, but I don't like it. So
So why'd you pick the Patriots, though? What
You're
year
from
did
Canada?
you become? Wait,
You know what? Because it was the Rams, actually. They were supposed to be this unstoppable team, and I never had a team. And then this player, Drew Bledsoe, went down that year. And he was our all-pro quarterback. I think we would have won with him. Then Tom Brady came along.
well, we all know the story, but my question to you is:
That's how. And then they beat the Rams.
But you live in
And then they
Toronto,
just-
so you just picked up the Pats conveniently in
Yes, I picked them
2001.
up because of that Super Bowl when they beat the Rams.
So they won the Super Bowl, and then you became a fan. That's my
And
point.
I was young. I was like in, I think, grade 6 or grade 7. So I'm not
Okay.
that. So then I just started watching
local
them.
team, though, in Canada.
Oh, we have the Raptors, but I'm not the biggest fan.
You also have the Bills.
I'm not a Bills fan. I was drawn to the Patriots.
Well,
So when I go there,
I don't like how you called in earlier 6 rings, and you were trying to do this like New York versus Boston thing when you're from Toronto and you conveniently
because
picked up
that's
the
a team
Pats.
I relate to.
Yeah, but they won. Yeah, that'd be like me being born in, Ohio.
Your buddy's
and-
a Heat. Your buddy's in New Jersey, and he says he likes the Heat. There's nothing wrong with it. So that makes him a bandwagoner too, doesn't it? You're from New Jersey and you watch the Miami Heat.
No. Liking a team from outside my area doesn't make me a bandwagon. When the Patriots are the only team that you like because they won a Super Bowl when you were 12.
And I was
kinda
young,
makes you a
and it brought
bandwagon.
me to the game. It brought me in.
You know what game brought me to the Jets? The Monday Night Miracle, which was a regular season game against the Dolphins. They ended up pulling it out of their ass.
No, if
It
you
wasn't the
listen,
Super
I said
Bowl.
Drew Bledsoe went down.
Yeah, we know that. We
And
know
I'm
that.
young,
No,
you know, so it's you find your team at different ways.
Yeah, but so you just
You were
adopted
12,
Boston conveniently as they're winning all these championships? I don't know if I'm buying
I was
it.
never
Six
the
rings.
Celtics fan. It was more like the Patriots. Then I started liking Boston. So they kind of got me into it. You know what I mean? But the Patriots are my favorite team. The
You didn't have a
Celtics, the
favorite team
Bruins.
until you were 12?
Yeah, I didn't watch it. 12, 11. Yeah. I wasn't into sports like that.
I don't know. I'm just
So you
not
saw
buying
a
this.
bandwagon to jump
All of
on.
a sudden, New England wins the Super Bowl. You jump on, and I'm supposed to take you as this diehard Pats fan. Now you adopted
I
all
was
the
young.
Boston teams.
I was a kid, you know. You don't really sometimes it takes a while to find your team, you know.
Sure.
So
When you're
you weren't
10,
watching
11.
any sports until age 12?
No, I watched the Raptors, but that's not my team.
But you
'Cause they were
dropped.
bad.
But why wouldn't you root for the Raptors?
Just not fun. You know, I never really
It's
had
not
a
fun
team.
when you're losing.
But that's my point. You have a team. You're from Toronto. You have an NBA
But then
team.
I could just be but it just
But then you
go
picked up
leave.
the Celtics, and your whole call earlier was being like, "We won the championship," and you were crapping all over the Knicks. And I'm thinking to myself, but you're not actually from Boston. You should be a Raptors fan.
No. I'm a Patriots fan before all of them.
Now,
Is your
what
Subaru
about your
wrapped
hockey
with
team?
Patriots gear?
What?
Is your Subaru wrapped in Patriots gear?
No, I changed it now. It says drives a Q50.
I don't know.
I drive a Chevy Cobalt. I have no idea what a Q50 is. I'm going off the
It's an
assumption that you
Infiniti.
still drive a Subaru.
It's an Infinity. Are you gonna draw my Tom Brady? Didn't I send a super chat?
No,
So
we're
does
only
that
showing
mean
we're showing appropriate things for the air.
Yeah,
that is appropriate? Tom Brady with his rings.
What are you
If
nuts?
we told Indy no to the Pacers holding up the chip, we're definitely going to say no to Tom Brady in any capacity other than kissing his son.
Now let me ask you this: Six Rings. What hockey team do you root for?
I'm not the biggest hockey fan.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense.
I watch football because it's the highest rated sport. Just from
Not in your country.
I love football. Hockey, maybe
Hockey's the sport in Canada.
I
You
like
guys are
Sam
hockey.
Reinhart, I guess.
But you're from
Sam
Toronto.
Reinhart's
Why
all right.
wouldn't you? I don't. Are you even from Canada?
Austin Matthews is all right. I'm not the biggest hockey guy.
Okay, so you don't like hockey. You
It's
don't
all-
like the,
no, I don't
you don't
like
like the NBA team. And also, if you were gonna pick an American NFL team, right? US NFL team, logically it should be the Bills, who have played regular season games in Toronto as the home team. So
I
that's
know,
why
logically one
that's
of
why
my
I think you're a
childhood friends.
bandwagoner. I'm
He's a
not buying
Bills-
this fandom.
Because
Hey, man,
if
each
you were
their
born
own.
in the 90s, didn't the Bills go to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row in the 90s? So
I
like,
didn't watch sports
you're-
back then. That's when I was like 3. I didn't watch it back then.
That's fair. That's fair.
Also, good
I'm lucky I
observation
didn't
from
watch
Luppy.
it because I would have been cursed.
You changed your shirt. You were wearing a green
Yeah, I got
shirt
ready.
earlier. What happened?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Also, you said you were just going to have a cup of Joe today on your day off. How did that go?
Nice. You know, just had my coffee, relaxed, didn't do much. I could have been a Cowboys fan.
I don't know. A lot of people are.
Like,
a lot
That would make more sense if you were a Cowboys fan, to be honest, because you're from an obscure area that doesn't have a team. And there's Cowboys
I know,
fans
that's how the
literally everywhere,
Patriots-
even Steelers. I did have accepted Steelers because they're close in proximity. Their fans go everywhere. Patriots is just hard, man.
I just don't like you
Hey,
trash
man.
talking all the New York teams, and you're not even from Boston. You don't see the ridiculousness of this.
Hey, man, I just like Boston.
Have you been to Boston?
Once. Like, well, I don't really travel a lot. I'm going actually to Miami, ironically. See, I'm all packed up soon. I'm going to Jamaica.
You're going to Jamaica.
But I do want to go back.
Now, Six Rings. What brings you to Jamaica?
I like traveling. You know, I like going on cruises.
So hold on a second. You like traveling. You claim to be this big Patriots fan. You became a fan conveniently after they won their first of what ended up being 6 Super Bowls, part of a 20-year dynasty. And you've only been to Boston once this whole time?
Once or two. Yeah, man. I don't really. No, I never thought of going.
You never thought of going.
Have you been to a Patriots game before?
Have I been? No, I don't really go to football games. I just watch from home. I have the app and everything. I would
Man.
say I've seen more Celtics games. because they come to Toronto. You know what I mean? And it's easier rather than getting my pass. You know what? I go to if they had a football team. I've been to more Celtics games, I would say.
You have a passport though, right?
Yeah, I could.
I was
That's
gonna say you
definitely
ain't
on
getting
the
to
bucket.
Jamaica with that one.
I don't know. This is not passing the smell test. I gave you a chance to present your case, and now it's time for you to hear from the Beast himself.
Number one, you could take that red shirt off and wipe your ass with it because you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Do you know what house this is, boy? Answer the question.
Buddy,
open your mouth.
Acknowledge me.
Open your mouth and talk to me. I don't give a shit. Do you know what house you're in? Answer the question. I said answer the question. What house are you in? Answer the question. If you don't answer the question within 5 seconds, I want your ass out of here within a heartbeat. Answer the question. Either you take that goddamn shirt off, or I'm gonna come over there and give you an ass whooping of your lifetime, like your father should have gave you years ago. What's it gonna be, Sonny? Answer the question.
I said it.
You got 5 seconds. No, you got 5 seconds. Apparently, Jake, send this son of a bitch to the hole. Goodbye. I hope you have a nice ride. Good day to you, and get the fuck out while you're at it. Good night, and remember, exit stage left. And when you get to the door, don't you ever show your face on this show ever. Rejected. Sorry.
All right, before you go, Six Rings, hold on. Beast, love the passion. Purple Belt Mike would like to have a word with you as well. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Six Rings. First of all, you like the show, which we appreciate. So I do like that. However, I want to do a test. So first of all, just put your hands up so I know you're not going to cheat.
What do you mean?
Like that. Yeah, that's good. All right. Keep it up for a second. Keep your hands up because I don't want you to cheat using your computer.
I can't really keep my hands. I'll play with
Yeah,
my football.
Okay, that's good. You can do that. All right. So, no, play with the football. I want to make sure your hands aren't typing.
No, hands are here.
All right, so keep your hands up. All right. Ask you 3 basic questions because you're a big Patriots fan and you've been a Patriots fan.
I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan. I just like the sports.
I never said biggest. I said a big fan. You got all your Patriot gear on. You got the Patriot football. I can't see your hands. So, who is the leading scorer for the Patriots? All-time leader. Basic questions. There's 3 questions. First question. Basic score. You're
It's
cheating.
not true. I don't know these stats. I don't look this up. Is it Julian Edelman?
No. Who is the receptions leader? No, huh? Touchdown leader. Who has the most touchdowns? So you don't
Is
know
it Gronk?
basic. Who is it?
Gronk.
Gronk has the most touchdowns. Good. What about receiving leader?
Steve.
I see
Is
your
it
eyes
Julian
wandering.
Edelman? I said him.
No, not even close. All right, so before you call on to another show and claim, especially a rival, that you're going to be like a big fan or whatever, maybe learn some basic stats of your own team. It's one thing to be a heel and whatever, like that's all cool, but just don't make it like you're a joke. If someone asked me like the rushing leader, I can say Curtis Martin. I could go through all the stuff because I know my team. You know what I'm saying? I know my team. So it's all good. Just do some research. You can do your Patriot thing or whatever, but just come prepared because we're gonna test you on here, not just me and everybody else. And I don't even mind you being on the show because the more that the show grows, the better. But don't be calling people out and acting like whatever. Is that fair?
I didn't call anyone out. Hey, man, I'm a fan. I'm not the biggest diehard fan. I just watch the games.
You just watch the games. You really sound like a front runner, to be honest,
What do you mean?
because you don't even know the history, and it's like pretty much recent because they were shit for a long time. So it really sounds front runner-ish, you know. I mean, calling on a Jet show and all your Patriot stuff, flexing a football, saying you have the greats and all these people, and the jersey behind you is worth more than the franchise, but you can't even name a few stats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got Gronk
Kind of
right.
weird, right?
I got Gronk right.
You did get Gronk right.
I think it's Elvin, maybe Stanley Morgan.
Yeah, I know. You're
Maybe.
looking now.
I'm not. I have my hands here, but I don't know all of them.
You get the fuck out. Mike, that was brilliant. Way to expose him for being the bandwagoner that I suspected he was.
Yeah, it's not hard to show a bandwagoner when you ask him basic stats. And all time in points, he wasn't even thinking kicker. That's how much he doesn't know football. If you know football, the all time leader in points for every single team is a kicker, and he said Julian Edelman.
He didn't even
I
throw
mean,
up a competitive guess. That was my big thing too.
he
He
said
claimed to be this.
Julian Edelman. I mean, come
I
on,
said
dude.
Corey
Everyone
Dillon.
knows every leader for every single team in points is the kicker. There's
forgot
not one
about
team in the
Vinatieri.
NFL that doesn't have that. So I mean, whatever.
Now
Who's
I
the
want to say
receiving
this.
guy?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Dion Branch.
Well, sorry, say it again.
The receiving question was that Dion Branch?
No, Stanley Morgan.
Stanley Morgan. Okay, so before my
Yeah,
time.
Gronk is second, and I'm pretty sure he was answering Gronk to the receiving yards question because I asked that second, but it's fine.
That was well
I'll
done, Mike. Now
I'll let him get the pass.
let me say this. I have no problem with him calling in or anyone being a fan of a different team and calling in. But if you're going to trash our team,
know your team.
Know your team. Exactly.
That was
Don't
the point that I was making.
Yeah.
You can't trash
100%.
us if you don't even know your own team.
Because someone wrote, "Oh, I feel bad for the guy now." Well, if you caught his first call earlier where he was ripping the Jets, saying the Brady jersey behind him is more valuable than our franchise and talking all this crap.
And he's got the greats of all the people signed on the football.
And
I
he
mean, you don't know any of their stats.
Yeah, come on. And he claims to be this like a big Boston sports fan. Meanwhile, he's not really a Celtics fan. Like he said he was a Raptors fan at first and didn't really care. Now he can't just adopt Boston after they're coming off a championship. But he's the ultimate bandwagon fan is what this guy is.
I'm going to tell you guys a story real quick. So I forgot what year it was, the year that Gronkowski was drafted. I went to the draft in New York, Radio City Music Hall. So his girlfriend is Brittany Taylor. She was a model for Hooters. So I ran into her because she had a football in her hand, and I asked her, I was like, "Oh, you know that football? Where'd you get it?" Because I wanted to get my own like draft football. And she's like, "My boyfriend, he just got drafted by the Patriots." And I was like, "Oh, I hate the Patriots." He's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go see if he'll sign it for you." So I have a draft football signed by Rob Gronkowski on draft night. That is in my attic at my parents' house, and it's been there for, I don't know, how was it 15, 20 years, however long it's been, because he's a Patriot. So I don't give a shit that it's collecting dust, might even be faded and whatever. I don't care because he's a Patriot. That's real fandom.
Hell yeah.
So I don't even know what it's doing up there. If it's definitely faded with the heat and sun and whatever else. But
yeah, after studying the draft, dude, I've loved so many players that end up on our rival teams, and I'm immediately like, "Oh, okay, sucks. I loved him, but can't do it.
Yeah,
can't do
You
it."
just sell it,
like Will
Mike.
Campbell.
I have to find it too. That's the other thing. I mean, I
Maybe,
don't know.
maybe Six Rings will want to buy a real Patriot item, and he'll know all about that one. He can't screw that one up if you quiz him on it.
What I'm gonna do, Jake, I'm gonna send you the photo of me and Brittany Taylor and the football. I'm gonna send it to you because I have it on my Facebook from years and years and years ago.
Hell yeah.
I think that was 2008, maybe, right? Is that when he got drafted? Does that sound right? Or was it even before that?
I think later. I think Gronk was 2010 or
Yeah,
2011.
2011, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I'll share it with you. You can show it.
Mike, excellent job.
Peace.
Great call by PBM. The show has had everything, man. Today's been nuts. Like
He gave him the
today's-
full court press, man.
Well
That was
done.
great.
Well done. Beast just screaming and yelling, and the mic's like, let me calmly dismantle him instead. I like that.
Beast wasn't giving him a chance to respond.
Yeah, Beast as an interrogator. Did you do this? Wrong
Answer the question.
You didn't even give him a chance to answer the question.
He told me in 5 seconds, and 2 seconds later, he's like, come on.
Real quick, a couple super chats here. Ryan writes in that he'd like to slap the Six Rings fella with Glenn's backhand. Jersey Jet says, Dylan, draw Bill Belichick kicking 12 rings ass back to Boston.
I think that's Beast Breaker, but yeah.
Oh, wait.
There's so many BBs. It's like Bobby Beasley, Beast Breaker, Bill Belichick.
Yeah, that could be really anyone.
I was going to say he could clarify, but I'll start drawing it.
Metal Man said, and 2 raffle entries for you, Metal Man. How long before Belichick resigns as the head coach of UNC?
There's rumors he doesn't make it to week 1, man. There are rumors.
I still think he does, but I hope it goes terribly because that'd be fun.
I don't think it's going to be long-lived. And the fact that she's not even allowed at the facility anymore, like so quickly after everything that has happened, it's not looking good for Bill. He probably wishes that there was one team interested in his services as head coach.
Bino with a super chat. Brokeback 666 is a Red Sox fan, so he's basically the same as Six Rings, only minus the accent and a lot fatter. I don't think you can really compare Beast to Six Rings. Beast has proven he's a Jet fan. We've seen Beast have Jet merch.
He doesn't know all the history, but he at least tries to know the history.
He knew one member of the Sack Exchange, all right?
No, he knew 2. Kyle Clifton.
Mark Gusto, Kyle Clifton.
Mark Gusto.
Anyway, that was tremendous. Now, Beast, I'm going to bring him on for a moment here. Beast, I see you're wearing the Aaron Glenn shirt, right?
Yes, I know. I didn't notice that until this morning. And then when I go to my front door, I'm like, wait a second, what the hell?
Wait, it showed up today?
No, last night, because I didn't notice that until I went to my front door. I went, wait, what the hell? I'm like, okay. I'm like,
was there a note in it?
I like it. I like this. This is nice. Now this, except I was up at 5:30 this morning, cleaning up the old patio because I put a nice little trap out for the rats called "You Want to See Something Coming?" Don't think I got a BB gun on me, son. So watch your step with me, or you're gonna
Beast,
feel the wrath.
hold
of my
on.
pain.
Hold on, Beast. I ask because was there a second shirt in that box?
No. I'm waiting for something to come in the mail tomorrow. Anyway, tomorrow I gotta go mow. I gotta make some money. And I also did something today.
Oh, okay.
Saving up for your next super chat?
Hey, why not? Hey, this is a glass skull right here. A nice, beautiful glass skull.
You get the fuck out.
The reason why I ask is because I sent him.
You sent it to him.
I
and
sent
there's more
him that
things in
shirt.
the box.
Yeah, but I sent it like either yesterday or 2 days. I'm like, how did it get there? So that's what I didn't understand.
Did you buy a shirt off the shop store?
Or someone sent it to him that wasn't me. That's why I was confused. I was like, how did that? Because I sent him one. I wanted to.
Yeah, I knew right away what you were getting at. And
I was like,
we get to see his glass skull jar.
I was like, I don't understand how it arrived that quick. So someone either sent Beast that, or my shipping company was remarkable in its speed. I don't know. I got to look into this now. But yes, I was like, wait a second. I just ordered that for him. Unbelievable.
Had to custom make it too, 4X.
Unreal. All right, we're almost at 2 hours here, so show's coming to an end. Last call is from the great Papa Jet.
What's up, Papa?
So,
You good?
I'm good.
Papa, what's up with this
echo?
Echo?
Echo.
Echo. Turn your volume down.
Echo.
Echo.
Echo. I've been waiting 2 hours and
Oh, I like this delay.
Hey,
Beast, give us your best motorboat.
Beast, give us your best motorboat.
Yeah, that's a little bit of death metal motorboat action. Little death metal action.
You get the fuck out.
Papa
I don't
Jet
think we
dropped
understand
off.
what a motorboat is.
We were unaware.
We were unaware.
Papa Jet's back. Nope, we still hear
Papa
the
Jet's
echo.
back. Nope, we still hear the echo.
What the hell? Why is it echoing? Shit.
Chewbacca motorboat. Hand us your right, Jim.
Chewbacca motorboat. Hand us your right, Jim.
Boomtown wants to know, was that a Wookiee making love?
Yes.
Papa, you there?
I think he closed out to try again.
Look at that beard.
Epic.
Really a great beard. Well, man, Papa, if you call back quick, I'll get you on. If not, I'll make sure you're the first call no matter what time you call into the next show. I know you were on hold for a while. We had a lot of calls today.
I appreciate Papa waiting 2 hours to talk to me.
Also, did the motorboating impact your camera, Dylan? Because now
it did. I'm now underwater, apparently.
Oh, man.
See, now it's clear, but I'm not sticking my face that close to the camera to clear the lens.
I have an image that Addison sent me of our caller 6 rings. Hold on.
It's not going to work.
Let me put this up on the screen here before we wrap up the program.
I'll try to fix my camera, I guess.
This is apparently 6 rings being fed milk by Tom Brady. Tremendous.
We should get him as Tom Brady's son when he's on the massage table, mouth kissing his dad.
Ladies and gentlemen, the return of Papa Jet. Hello, Papa.
Is it still bad?
Let's
We
find
don't
out.
know.
You don't know?
It sounds good. Sounds good.
You're good.
I don't know what the hell that was, but anyway. Hey, that potpourri stuff works too.
It does.
I never heard of it. The wife brought it in like 3 weeks ago, and it works. But
What a segue.
But anyways, well, I waited 2 hours, Jake. So you know.
No, you're good. A lot
He had that in the
happened.
holster. He had
But
that
hey-
shit loaded.
But anyways, I'm looking for a big year from Taylor. And thanks for the review, Dylan, because I learned a lot. So I'm going to return the favor. I'm going to give you 5 Zeppelin songs to check out. You can thank me later. So
Okay, let me write them down. Give me 1 second, because I'm not going to remember all 5. All right,
But
I got
it-
my note card. I got my note card ready.
Battle of Evermore,
Okay.
Custard Pie,
Okay.
Out on the Tiles,
Out on the tiles. Okay.
The Rover.
Okay.
That's good enough. I'll give you 4.
All right. Absolutely.
Well, hey,
I'll
anyways-
get back to you immediately with how much I like them, because Zeppelin is great.
Yeah, those are my favorites. But anyways, that call earlier this morning from 6 Rings. Hey, it's just another character, you know. He, if he comes back, he'll add to the show. But I'm gonna whine a little bit, and I know it's kind of a woulda, shoulda, coulda, but the 6 Rings actually should be 4 rings, because if 2 offensive coordinators don't stick their head up their asses, New England don't win the Seattle Super Bowl, and they don't win the Atlanta Super Bowl. Seattle gives the ball to Lynch, I don't know, 6 or 7 straight times. They take it right down to the 1, and then they pass the damn ball. You're on the 1 yard line. Give it to Lynch. You had one timeout left. You could have gave it to him, used your timeout, passed it on 3rd down. And if you don't get it there, 4th down, you could do whatever. And then Atlanta, after the Julio Jones awesome catch on that sideline, there's like, I don't know, 3-4 minutes left. Atlanta, just run the ball 3 times, let New England use your timeouts, kick the field goal, game over. But they had to get cute. You know, I know I'm whining because I hate the Patriots, but I could have called better plays. There's no way they should have won those 2 games, but
Yeah.
I'm crying and whining. But
that's okay. I mean, what are we supposed to do? It's like we're kind of haters to the fact that they've won so many times, so we got to nitpick which ones they did win. And Surf City in the chat says 0 if Mo Lewis doesn't take out Bledsoe. So we could even go to this. And
That's what I tell people.
Yeah.
I hate the Patriots, but I mean, if David Tyree doesn't make one of the most improbable catches ever, like they win that
That's
one.
true.
So like all their Super Bowls were incredibly tight. Like they didn't blow any of them out. They
Yeah.
were all really crazy games that could have went either way.
Yeah, and they
And then
were
the boring
17
one against the Rams.
3-0, right?
It was like, or 13-6 or something. It was very low scoring. Like they might have
Yeah.
scored one touchdown.
It was
the end.
13-3. That was the Super Bowl I went
13-3, yeah.
went in person. Yeah, I mean it was a
Oof.
close game until the very end. It was an ugly
Mhm.
offensive game. It was defensive struggle.
But I know the Patriots were 17-point favorites against the Giants, so I'm glad they lost that one. But
Mhm.
okay, that's all I got, guys. Have a good night.
Now, Papa
Yep, you're
Jet,
the
did
best,
you go to the
Papa.
bathroom at all on hold? What were you doing to pass the time?
On hold?
Yeah, were you just sitting there, or did you get up? Do any stretching?
Oh no, I was just sitting here. I got up and filled my water, and I had put my sweatpants on because I got to go let my daughter's dog out. So yeah, I was in my underwear, but I guess you didn't really have to know that. But
I love it.
Papa
I
Jet, thank you
promise
for the
you-
info.
Jake, you won't catch me like the Beast, Well, I am known as a plumber's ass, but I promise you'll just see me from here up. So
You get the fuck out.
That's all we need with that beard. That's all we need, Papa, is just from here up.
Tremendous. Also, the irony of Beast writing in too much information from what we have seen from him.
That is that's your job, Beast, is to give us too much information, let's be honest. Or show us too much information.
Yeah, I mean, Beast, this was you like 5 days ago.
Golly.
What a call. Before we go, PBM messaged me the photo of him and who was the woman?
Brittany Taylor.
Brittany Taylor. So I have two photos here. I'll just hold it up on the screen. A young PBM and Brittany Taylor. It's weird seeing Mike with hair.
And no facial hair.
Yeah,
It's like
wow.
he substituted. He switched it. He lost the hair on top and he just grew it all out on his face.
Look at
That's
this.
classic.
Circa 2010 PBM, everyone.
That's epic.
Love it. The 2010 draft. The Jets selected Kyle Wilson.
Kyle Wilson, 20th overall. Yep.
No, 20. I think it was later. It was like 20 because they were in the
was it?
championship game. So
Shit. Yeah, you're right.
29th, maybe?
Yeah, 29th. Yeah.
29th or 28th?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Wilson, let's see.
Oh, God, your computer's going to block you for like trying to search up Kyle Wilson.
29th overall pick. It just the Jets having the 29th pick in a draft just doesn't like compute. with me, man.
Naturally having the 29th pick. We trade up for Jermaine Johnson from 34 to 26, but we never naturally have held 29 since then. So
No corner brought more pain than Kyle Wilson did as a Jet fan in my life. He was
and then a
brutal.
close second though is D. Milner, who like the most recent thing I saw of him, he was doing a Trojan condoms sponsorship. So he's trying to revitalize his career one
On
way
what?
or the other. On like his Instagram or something, or his Twitter. This is years ago, but like that was the last I ever saw of D. Milner. He was doing Trojan condom sponsorships.
Good for him. So JD says we need to stop drafting Wilsons. Well, we have Garrett Wilson though. That's obviously worked out.
Yeah, that's true.
Kyle
keep
Wilson
drafting him.
sucked. Zach Wilson sucked. Garrett Wilson. Am I missing any other Wilsons the Jets have drafted in their history?
There might be one way back, but I can't. It doesn't come to mind.
Man, what a show, Dylan. Great job by you. Appreciate it. Plug the channel again. I've been posting the link. Everyone go subscribe to Dylan. He just gave us 2 hours of his time, unheard of for any guest. We appreciate that. What is coming up next on the channel? I guess is a good way to tease this.
Yeah, right here at the bottom, just my full name on YouTube at Dylan Tereman. Haven't put out a video in a couple days, but I did the top 10 Jets under 26 years old. You can fight me that Olufoshinu is not on the list, but I feel like his sample size is just too small to crack the top 10 of players under 26. So that is the most recent one that's published. I'll probably do a little one-off video about, kind of the Justin Fields predictions thing. And then tomorrow night at 7 p.m., me and Will Parkinson are going to go live for a half hour. And everybody's going to want to see that because I think Will has some pretty good insights about what's going on at OTAs and what we can expect from this team.
Do you draw on your channel? Ralphie wants to know.
Yes, go watch the Leonard Taylor III. I drew all over it. It's more X's and O's, and yes, this is Beast Breaker. As you can tell, he's gotten larger from all the images that have been requested of him. His hair has gotten a little bit more vibrant, and he's kicking 6 IQ back to Boston, even though he's not from there.
Back to Boston, where he's not from there and has no interest in apparently traveling, despite being this big fan of all these Boston teams.
He likes traveling, but he doesn't travel to Boston.
Interesting. What a call. Dylan, you're the best. Always appreciate you hopping on. We will see you in the chat on this show. I will be watching your channel, your content. Everyone go subscribe if they haven't. You're the best, Dylan.
Absolutely, Jake. I appreciate you. Chat, I appreciate you. Jojo, you owe us a call in. I'm holding you to it. I see you in here in the chat conversating, and you told me you were going to try to call in today. So next week we'll have to get you on.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Dylan Tereman with us there. That does it for today's show. We are back tomorrow. We'll be live twice. Big day tomorrow. O'Leary in the morning, and then OTAs are open for the media. Both coordinators are speaking tomorrow. We'll have a lot of news and notes coming out of Jets OTAs. So Nick Faria is going to join us, probably live from One Jets Drive, to recap the big takeaways from what they see on the field. So big day on the channel tomorrow. It's been a big couple days on this channel. Show's been crazy. Again, thank you all who make this show the greatest show there is. Love you all. See you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we will talk to you soon. What's your take on Bobby Beasley not showing up today?
Just checking the teeth. I got a blow.
This ain't over by a long shot. Where'd he go? I'm not an expert on federal holidays. When my counsel is ready, we will be here and we'll be suing the pants off that fat-faced piece of shit. I want to see his face right now.
Beasley, he left the second you joined. I was fully prepared to have you guys litigate your issues.
I let the man know earlier this week I was willing to settle out of court. All I want is little Joey.
Hey, what's the flag behind you? Are you a Buccaneers fan or just an ass pirate?
That's none of your business, man.
Beast writes in no deal. He will not give you a little
No deal? Then I'll see you in court, pal.
You better call Bonesy. Asmaniacs unite when the beast is in trouble, so you better call Bonesy. Ignore the shoes behind him. Those are law books. Those are law books.
I literally went to the bathroom for 2 minutes, and this fucker calls in and I don't get to talk to him. The worst part about it is that Beast really believes this. Like, this is real life to Beast. You guys have to understand where my client is coming from.
Gator says, Bobby Beasley wants to eat little Joey. I have heard the messages. They are real. Ladies and gentlemen, Beast is actually on the line. He is grilling in the great outdoors, which means his connection is probably going to be trash.
That grill looks sturdier than Charles's neck.
I have the affidavit written for the seizure of little Joey. We will be taking offers for little Joey starting Friday afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Asmaniac Court, I just wanted to let it be known that Bobby Beasley's lawyer never contacted me to file any sort of dismissal or grievance. So as far as I'm concerned, this trial is happening ASAP.
God damn it.
Tomorrow I'm going down to the courthouse. I'm filing that restraining order. This will be the last time that little prick ever shows this face around here. The fruit.
We call
Ladies
him
and
ass
gentlemen,
pirate.
joining us right now is Bobby Beasley. He is called
Good
in.
night.
Beast, what is your reaction to Beast going down to the courthouse? Are you concerned that he's going to successfully?
Oh, not at all. I don't see him leaving his house ever. If you ask me, it sounds like he's got something to hide. It's evident at this point he's a coward, man. I show up here, I'm ready to go every single time.
Bobby, could I get you to say any of the sayings like shiver me timbers or walk the plank or ahoy matey?
No more of this butt pirate stuff, man. I'm willing to settle out of court for little Joey.
Now, what makes you think you have any rights or claim to little Joey?
Because I deserve him more than Beast does. He's unfit to raise little Joey.
Arr! What do you plan on doing to the pig, dude?
Where's Bonesy, by the way?
Bonesy's a busy attorney. He's working a federal holiday, unlike your
Yeah,
guy.
fitting women for shoes right now. That's what I hear.
Can you get me the 8th district, please, for the Chicago Police Department?
Oh, he's got him on the phone. Holy shit.
My address is private.
Show your face, you fucking coward. Let's go.
Get off the phone with the police. Tell them that you took Please
I'm not
explain to
going
them.
to rest until this Bobby Beasley's behind bars.
All right,
and
all
I'm
right.
not
Well,
gonna
don't get
back-
the actual
I'm not
police
backing up on
involved.
nobody. After tomorrow, he is done.
Police where you at?
Say that again, ma'am.
You don't need police where you at. You're good, right?
Well, as long as I got safety, I got everything I need. This guy has been lying through his teeth, and I'm going to put him behind bars. He's a dead man walking, and he'll be exposed for life.
All right.
He's screwed. And don't worry, ma'am. Everything's under control because you guys are the truth and you guys are the facts. Am I not right?
All right.
All right. Well, we'll take it from here.
All right.
All right. And your name was, ma'am?
Lewis.
All right. Thanks, Lewis.
No, come on.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bobby Midnight just called me and said, Mr. Bones, you got to get on there, bro. They need you.
I already got another person on that grill right now taking station number 2. After tomorrow, I'm going down to that goddamn courthouse. You won't see this son of a bitch for a long time. He's done.
Do not go to the courthouse.
Take his advice, Beast. I was going to tell you the same thing after the show.
I have a temper on me, and I'm not gonna take this guy anymore.
Can you take that shirt off before the police show up at the front door so Jake's not at all?
Shut up and listen. You don't need to go to the police, and you damn sure don't need to run every time he gets on the fucking screen, bro. They will laugh at you, or they will send you for a wellness check if you go to the courthouse, bro.
Just ignore him, Beast. He's not going to touch your guinea pig. He doesn't even live near you.
And trust me, in the real world, that guy's got more problems than you do.
You hated Rick Kent a day ago. Now you're messaging Rick Kent. It's got to stop.
Well, I'm a hothead. If you want to mess with Big Bad Booty Daddy, ha! If you hear me.
You got some situation here, Jake.
Beast. Don't go to the court or go to the police station. By you going there, you're making it a thing.
Understand that you are safe. Your guinea pig is safe.
What I'm going to start doing, I think I'm going to take Nick Shine's advice today.
There you go.
Yep, take his
Which
advice.
part of his advice?
Good advice. There's a bunch.
Now look what you've done, Bobby Beasley. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will make you feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him 24 hours to think about it.
And to all, a good night. Now let's rejected. Sorry.